All these pretty people.
I know. I know.
Shimon.
Like,
We're like all extra excited for this show because we're all fans of hip hop. We grew up in a good time, and we just want to.
ooh.
The connection is there. But
Hmm.
welcome back to Fan Club.
What up?
How
What's
y'all feeling?
up? We here. We were
We
outside. It's hot as balls.
Oh, summer's here. Hey, Rakarsha. Okay, now the
Look,
show.
Harsha.
I am feeling
Finally.
majestic because it is now the month of July. We got the fireworks out the
Everybody's
way.
birthday month.
Oh, hell yeah. Under 2 weeks and counting.
Oh, I love it.
Shout
I
out to
cannot
Keith in the
wait to see
chat.
it. That's Keith.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, I
Shout
said
out,
Chief
brother
Keef?
in the chat. No. Oh God, no.
I
No.
mean, might as well get the hip hop
Imagine.
references
Jesus
out
Christ.
now
I
since
He's
that's
mean,
banned in his
never
own
know.
city. Can't do that.
Word?
Yeah, he can't go back. He can't go back to Chicago at all.
Yeah. I
Mm.
wonder
wow.
why.
There's a whole Vice article about it.
That's crazy. And that sounds like a Vice article too. But I can't wait to get into all of that. I just posted that photo of Meg the Stallion and Bianca Belair, which is it's not necessarily they really just posed for a photo, but I think it's one of the coolest hip hop wrestling connections that has happened so far. I always hoped it led to like more things. But I really can't wait to get into that because I have some other random wrestling Meg the Stallion trivia that I'm going to share with
Mm.
you on. But before that, we'll give everybody a chance to come in. Hey, Dre. See, he know the vibes. He know the vibes. He's from New
Mhm.
So
York.
this is a little out of order. So Ricard's first per usual.
Yeah.
Then Keith is second,
Mm.
and Andre's third. Where's Dylan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta
Dylan
this.
usually pops up
And
in,
I
then
was
you
gonna
got
say
Mike. Mike will make his grand entrance at some point.
come to the club
right,
around the 7:10 mark.
So I hope he does
right.
come in because he's actually a hip hop artist.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And he hey Brian.
Hey, Brian.
And he did our entrance music for the podcast. So shout out to
Mhm.
him. So I hope
Shout out
he
to
definitely
him.
comes through. Check out his music; it's pretty good. But before we get into all of that, our busy summer has started. Kinda. We
Yes.
got BlurCon this weekend in the DMV area. That's what I'm gonna say, and we're all gonna be there. I'm
Mhm.
excited about that. Oh wait, we forgot about Black Thoughts.
Yeah, he's on his time. You know, they coming in before the drinks get cost extra. So the normal ones, the
He came
regulars, they
in for
come
the
in around their time.
specials.
Yeah,
Yo,
they get their
Yep.
special time, their
they
special
really
announcement, the
gotta stay in the
VIP.
line because they know
Hmm.
what's up. But yeah, we'll be in the DC DMV area for BlurCon. Shout out to Doc who invited us and Jobber Tears, Black Wrestling, and a whole bunch of other people
Somebody
to.
came in the chat mad.
Oh, hold up.
Wait, whoa, 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 whoa,
Hi,
whoa,
beautiful.
whoa.
First
What
of
is
all,
this
we love you,
ultimate
Dylan.
warrior running in the
Whoa.
chat right
My
now?
fault are the Wrestling Internet
I
dirt sheet
mean,
lion
I
saying
understand
Randy
them
Orton is
because
returning to the WWE the past two. So we miss Randy Orton. I get it.
we are fans of Randall Keith Orton up in this
We do. I
house,
do miss
but
him as well.
like, damn,
I'm like, I love Randy
this is
Orton.
a nice space to vent. We're glad we can provide that for
I'm not
you.
in a
Because
rush for him to
Jesus,
come back.
yeah,
Mm.
One,
I
just
could feel the
hearing that it was
frustration too.
yeah, hearing the back injury,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
nothing to play with. And like those numbers, like if Randy got stats, what most pay per
Oh yeah.
views,
He's
um,
definitely one of the most consistent WWE superstars of all time.
yeah. Because like if you look over the time, you could pinpoint times where like Taker, Cena, like these people took a break. That you really can't like Orton has been injured before, but you can't like pinpoint that time the way you can.
Yeah. I think it is also just more so wanting to know what the deal is because now it's
Hmm.
so up in the air. So I think fans just want to know what's up. But I'm with you. I do miss
Respectfully,
him.
have y'all
Yes.
seen his wife?
Oh,
I
he
think
good.
he had to rush to get back.
He good.
love me some
He's making
PMs.
Res-
up for lost
And
time.
the best
respectfully,
Twitter responses on the face of the WWE housewife planet. She'd be like, they'd be like, "Oh, Randy Orton sucks." She'd be like, "What do you do for a living?" I love her. Stand on her hill. I'll
Out.
stand on the hill with her with a martini on the right hand side.
No, I agree with I hope I say it's Dylan 13 or Dylan 13. I understand. Like, stop with the dirt sheets. Like, let's stop making it up. But
They
Yeah,
always
we
work
gotta kill the
themselves
dirt
into a
sheets.
shoe, and
I hope
then
y'all don't
it's
subscribe.
just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has always proven to be false.
Everything.
I mean, the man is
But we do hope
RKOing
Ricky
something, so let him chill. He RKOing that poom poom.
I just said respectfully, Justin. God.
I mean, they married.
So now the club is officially started because
Yeah, and we going to Justice home this weekend.
Out.
Man, we might come back. He
we
gonna,
are. We're gonna be 15 minutes away from
his-
on your turf, so this is gonna be a fun weekend. And
It's gonna be a fun weekend.
I hopefully will be at more wrestling this weekend. MSG, just putting it out there. And
it's so bad I forgot SmackDown was in New York on Friday.
Ooh, we didn't forget because they
It's
said
a lot
the
going on.
tribal chief going on trial, and
Bro.
and Madison Square Garden basically sold the fuck out. Like, yo,
bro, my kids
Oh, yeah.
constantly trolled me during Raw. Not to mention, every time there was a TV break, what did we see, Justin? That goddamn pin. Every time. I at least saw it 10 times Monday night.
I was
then
a
it was
legend in the
They gonna
t-shirt.
run that
the
shit.
trial of the tribal chief.
But to be fair, Brian, you gotta look at this from this context. The man hadn't been pinned in over 3.5 years.
Justin,
You gotta go all
let
the way.
me live in kayfabe.
We can't live in kayfabe. It was real, damn it. It was
he
1, 2,
lost.
3,
It hurt.
and all of London exploded while
it
calling the
hurt,
man a
and
wanker.
It hurt. But it was by the right person, so you just gotta accept that and just see what
circle
happens.
No, that's all right. He can think he gonna be the tribal chief. Y'all know it was weird.
Brian,
Rooting against the Usos. I'm not used to do it. Like, it was times where they doing like their spots.
Never.
And then there's times like I'm like, yeah, wait a minute, no, like, because I'm just so used to, like, every time they do like certain moves or certain things, I get up for it, Especially like this is legit my favorite tag team, the tag team I deem the greatest of all time. So to root against them was just weird.
I can't root against them. You know why? Because it's like, because they're the next up. Like, imagine if Roman leaves. And they got to root. I can't
Solo.
Root against them. I just feel like it's a lick back. It was the perfect lick back. Like,
so you root against the tribal chief.
I would never. I would never. But I'm
rooting
saying,
for the family.
For it not to happen,
whatever needs to happen, let's make it happen.
I just we everything gonna get you back together. It's gonna be all repaired by WrestleMania. But it in all honesty though, it was just so much fun.
But okay.
It is. Families fight. Families fight, and then they make up. He said he loved him. He loves him. He said nobody loves him.
Love something.
Come on,
and
Seindole.
actively hurt it too.
What did Jay-Z say? Nobody wins when the family feuds.
Yeah,
they'll get past it.
WWE loves them some family therapy.
Remember when Owen and Brett?
Let them bring up. Let them bring up Brownie Cake Braun Breaker, Don Toretto Braun Breaker, and his daddy and his uncle, and let that be the next thing. Like, they got enough families, man. Like,
they have a lot of families.
They got a lot of families.
Braun's smart. Braun distanced himself from his daddy.
He did. That was a good idea.
But very respectfully though. Very respectfully, like the views of Rick Steiner.
I'm my own person. I'm not gonna be.
Braun got a haircut and say, "I'm not black. I'm Dominican."
Ooh,
he got a black shirt and a cross.
This complexion today.
I'm not Steiner.
And went up from 7 to 9 at the tandem booth and said, "I know Steiner."
Yeah. Now he doesn't feel like himself unless it's like 7 to 9 up there, like
up there. You're there, bro.
Hey,
you
man,
and Corey J keep
like
tanning
Ross
together.
From Friends.
Stop.
You gotta come out looking like Ross.
I don't even
from
watch Friends, but I know that meme.
You know.
That's my favorite episode.
Black Thoughts. Are you going to be in New York? Let me know.
If you're going to be at House OG, not this week, but next weekend. Because if not, then it's like only one reason for me to go. Because I'm going to House of Glory. Where? I want to go to House of Glory real bad.
Yeah, me too. It's been a long time. But we got Jobber Slam coming up.
Woo-hoo.
We do.
And they're making
And
a big announcement at
always a good
BlurCon.
show. Oh yes, I'm very excited. I'm so honored to be on a panel with Jobberteers, and then just talking about everything that they do for the Black wrestling community, including throwing wrestling shows, throwing watch parties, the podcast. They are all about building community. All right, cool. So you're gonna be in New York.
We'll try to do in August. No show this month. Fair.
That sounds good. And of course, Krista B and I have been working. We got a lot of episodes, a lot of content out right now. Krista B got live with Black Wrestling and We Love Wrestling's Trey, and they talked about the BRP 50. We have another really special interview dropping on Monday, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys because it's one of the most inspirational conversations I've ever had. Like, we're not even calling it an interview. And I'm just gonna drop it since this is the hip hop edition of Fan Club. But we got Andreas Hale. I might even mentioned it last week on the show. So we got to talk up with him, and it was like so motivating, life-changing conversation. I can't wait for you guys to hear.
Big fan of his work. Him and Kel with the Corner podcast, all the stuff he does in sporting news, all his takes on boxing, hip hop, because Andreas knows what the fuck you're talking about when you're talking about hip hop. Like,
yes,
that's my guy.
Same.
And he like fell into his career as like a music journalist, and he talks about how he got into covering wrestling more. So it's a beautiful conversation. I can't wait for y'all to hear. And just like aside from wrestling, just talking about his career and just everything that he's been able to do by just kind of like believing in what he believed in and standing on his faith and what he knew was cool, because there's a lot of rooms full of white people that think they can speak for us, and that's not the case, and he advocates for that. It's a dope combo. So that drops Monday. Shout out to Krista B. I'm excited for you guys to hear that. We got Fan Club every Wednesday, Sound Off every Friday, new Patreon content every week. The whole
schooling,
new show. Me too.
I enjoyed it. I was
like,
the school.
I like, because we all like learn, but because Pablo and Krista B are just so funny, they have like good chemistry. It's like a fun way to meet new wrestlers. So make sure you subscribe, because you get a lot of that, a lot of new content. And I hope to see some people this weekend.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. This is my first time going.
I can't wait. Me and Spielberg, we got plans. He got an extra battery yesterday, so we ready to go. No dying batteries, none of that. Gotta get a good slam.
I appreciate all of the love and the comments. We really appreciate it. Krista B and I and the whole team, Seindole, Justin, CRISTINA, and now Pablo being a part of things. She's our official co-host for Thirsty Thursday, which is so fun. And just the support that you guys have given us is
growing like Wu-Tang.
Facts.
Wu-Tang
we're gonna have to do like block floors and hotels when we travel, because we're gonna have the whole squad with us all the time.
But update some merch.
We do need some merch. No, seriously. Shout out to For Your Wear. But let's take a break. We're gonna get into wrestling and hip hop. I cannot wait. So make sure you guys bring some of your favorite hip hop and wrestling moments in the comments. We're gonna talk about it all, including Jagged Edge and Jeff Hardy.
So I can't wait to get into that. We're waiting to get into that ever since we talked about that damn wedding.
All of that.
What's up, everybody? It's those wrestling girls say Krista B with Queen PR, and we have Miss Shayna Basil with us. How are you feeling today?
Shayna B.
Krista B, Shayna B. That's it.
The Queen of Spain.
Yes, that's it. We're here. Like, now it's three of us. Now you have to watch it for the three of us. But how you feeling today?
I mean, it's crazy. I'll probably like knock out after this because it's been all nitrous burning. But yeah, I mean, it's WrestleMania week.
It's WrestleMania week. Like,
yo, Shayna.
Shayna's having a hell of a week.
Shayna.
Can we talk about it real quick?
I can gladly, real quick, I gladly give my honorary wrestling girl cap to her because what she did for me, like, you don't understand the mere shock of me seeing what I saw, what I felt like was going to happen, but to see it, sis, you in me, you could take my spot respectfully, because that
it's room for everybody to eat.
Like New Jack would say, thank you for doing the good people's work. Keep it up. One less, got him in the ground, like he would say. That's it.
That was like my favorite. That's my favorite thing right now, I have to say.
Okay.
Because I didn't expect it. It came out of nowhere. It was well executed. And Shayna's promo just, I'm like, I'm good. I love it.
Yo, my face was on the floor when she was cutting that promo on Ronda. I was like, what? Because like I'm not gonna lie, like I liked it in the moment, the turn on Ronda, whatnot, and Liv and Raquel being champions. I talk about this on my Money in the Bank review, but after it settled down, I was like, we're kind of back to square one with these fucking titles, you know, hopping and whatnot, and especially Shayna turning on Ronda. It's like we're breaking up another tag team. But then Shayna cut that promo on Monday, and then Shayna put hands on Ronda again on Monday, and then I was just like,
and then she was like, Shayna,
you shut me the fuck up real quick, because I was just like, bro, I think this is the best I've ever seen Shayna on the main roster since her going to the pay-per-view.
It was, but here's the thing: people have been saying this to Ronda, and it's like, okay, it's a wrestler being, you know, she in their space and they're giving their opinions and yeah, but yo, for it to come from Shayna, like who literally, and she said that with her whole chest. She built herself in that business. She sweat in that business. She ate dirt in that business. She basically is like, if NXT can have the founding fathers in like a little thing, like they have the presidents, Shayna Baszler sits right in that like poster. She grinded, like grit, like there's nothing you can say to combat anything she said in that promo, because it came from somebody who fully understands. And for it to go to Ronda, everybody was like, thank God, finally, somebody's going to get through to her. Was nobody else getting through to her?
Wanted to say.
She said what the people really wanted to say the whole time.
Tweeted it was like, yo, whoever wrote her promo listens to like what the IWC has been saying about Shayna and Ronda for years, and I'm like, yo, for real, that's what makes it good, because it's so real. And I'm hoping that Ronda can relax a little on the mic, since she's like working with her best friend, and that's something they've always wanted to do. We actually talked to Shayna about that. She brought it up in LA about how it would be an honor for them to face each other, how much they respect each other, and at the end of the day, you know, one is better than the other. So I'm hyped for what that brings. And I don't think maybe it's a coincidence that Endeavor bought WWE and the whole UFC connection. Like, I wouldn't put it past that. I don't even care what the reasons are. I'm glad we're finally getting Shayna versus Ronda. Yeah. But let's switch gears and talk about what we came to talk about. So really quick, and I'm going to let you guys talk about your favorite moments. But I just recently read Fat Joe's autobiography, which is really, really good. I actually listened to the audiobook, and he reads it, and it felt so like nostalgic, because he sounds like Puerto Rican from the Bronx. Like, he feels like my friend telling me stories. But he is a really big wrestling fan, and he makes wrestling references throughout the entire book, which was very welcome to hear, because I'm just like, wait, did he just say? I'm like, oh shit, okay. So I mean, it's not really I guess it is a hip hop wrestling connection, but I love that somebody like Fat Joe is making like throwback WWE references in his book. I just felt like that was dope.
That is kind of dope. When you
he should bring his kids to the show.
He might. You never know.
That's my Puerto Rican cousin. I'm gonna call him up and just see what's up.
Is that a Bronx thing? Like, is that
yesterday's tickets is not today's tickets?
No, it is. But do you have a favorite mashup when WWE tried to blend hip hop into it?
Aggression album. That just was.
What year did that come out?
2000. I remember it like vividly. My 8th grade year, it was going into WrestleMania 2000. It's like this whole thing, the show. Actually, I think WrestleMania 2000 opened up with Ice-T and coming out with The Godfather, Pimpin' Ain't Easy, man. And then you had DX coming out to Run DMC's music that year. The Rock did something. What was it? With Slick Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I would never say like I'm like the most knowledgeable when it comes to hip hop. Like I came in like 97, 98, but it was like some artists that I hadn't heard of, and back then it was before you had the Google machine. So just to be able to like learn about a lot of people on the album, but also just the way like they made it just sounded cool, like to hear like rappers and especially like black people singing wrestling music. But they had like some of them had like the original instrumentals, but kind of with a twist, or taking the instrumentals and making it like putting it on a hip hop keyboard or a hip hop synthesizer to make it sound good. So I like that a lot.
I forgot about that. And I gotta go back and watch WrestleMania 2000 because I feel like that went right over my head.
Did it really?
Yeah. I also probably rewatched that pay-per-view.
I could tell you why you ain't rewatch it, because Stone Cold ain't on there.
It
was
Don't talk about the dark times.
Well, that's the worst WrestleMania, the Attitude Era, which it wasn't like bad, but it's definitely it's bottom tier.
Bottom tier.
Yeah, like if you rank the WrestleManias,
really
it's the bottom. It's on the bottom tier. Yeah. It's not the worst, but it's definitely because it's so many of them too, right? So it's just easy to
the Attitude Era, right?
Oh, the worst of the Attitude Era. I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah. Because 98, 99, 2001. So yeah.
People, I don't understand why people don't like 2001.
No, 2000. What the WrestleMania was 17. Great.
Yeah,
that was one of the best ones.
I thought you said you didn't like it. Okay.
He came out with the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it?
This is good shit, yeah.
This is such good shit.
Yeah, that was right before what Ice-T went into his TV career.
Yeah.
Am I okay? Like my time.
Ice-T's been in his TV career.
Well, no,
he just started Law and Order when that happened, and then.
So you're saying full time because
full time because he was on New York Cover, right?
Yeah, he was on the cover as
I hated him on that show
like a while. Well, he was like one of the most dastardly heels.
Yes,
the greatest heels in TV history.
So when he became a cop on Law and Order, people were like, "Wait, what?" Like he went from being like one of the most notorious heels in urban television to now being on like a public syndicated TV show like Law and Order, and becoming like a tough badass prosecutor, like detective. Shout out to Ice.
Like
New York Undercover was like my introduction in New York. Like it was through New York Undercover.
That was such a fantastic show. I'm so thankful they put that on a streaming platform because I have been screaming about this for years on fucking social media.
I was disappointed.
Which one?
Canceled it. New York Undercover.
It's on Peacock.
Peacock, okay.
It's on the cock. But I have been screaming this for years. I was like, we have every other fucking 90s sitcom except for New York Undercover.
I'm not calling it that.
I'm like, is that what we're calling it?
No.
I mean, you call it the
I want to binge it too.
We're not calling it that either. We call it the Bird or something like that.
Bring back WWE Network.
There you go.
Unlock it for the US. We got everybody else get it. That's why those people over in the O2 arena was hype.
Right?
They watched WWE Network before they went in there. They
took off their shoes. They were calling people wankers. They were standing up while people were sitting down.
Yo,
Bailey had to tell them shut up, but they're cheering like, "Oh, Bailey, I miss you so." I was like, "What the heck?"
They're throwing primes at Logan Paul.
You imagine they took some hip hop artists over there though, like just to like rap wrestling because our music does well. No, I'm saying I know that, but like just like some of our art, like just say. Something like that do well over there, like the Migos.
Little Uzi Vert, he would.
Yeah, he's like in the UK.
He's global. I don't understand his appeal, but like everyone loves him. Kids love him. Our age loves him. Like
he makes them dance.
He just dropped the album.
Shout out to the little kids that was in front of us at WrestleMania that got super high.
When he came out with his dance. I said, everybody, adults, everybody was doing that dance.
I was like,
you know what it is, we've gotten to that point in life where like we're now those people. Because remember when we were younger and we're trying to explain to our parents about Snoop and Wu-Tang and Busta and all them, and they're like, "What the fuck? Don't you have like Grandmaster Flash and Run DMC, or why are we listening to like the Isleys and shit like that? Like, what's this Snoop
Nah, I
Dogg?"
agree. Cause like somebody had to break down to me why Grace's Corner is such a big thing. And I was like, why are people so like it looks like Caillou, but like real low budget, but like the music and stuff. I'm like, yo, is that Big Frida singing hip hop? Like what am I watching? This is actually addictive. Now I can see why my nephew keeps putting it on YouTube, but we're in that generation, child, where we get it, but we don't.
Right. Can we talk about
my favorite is the Migos, by the way.
Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up too.
It's why we're friends. It's why we're best friends. Like, when I saw they took a picture with Randy Orton in the airport, I was like both my favorite worlds colliding because y'all know how I feel about Randall Keith more than I feel about him. But y'all know how I feel about Randall Keith. And then to go fast forward and watch day one in Atlanta, it didn't peak to me. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be in Atlanta. It's kind of weird in choosing like a pay-per-view in Atlanta. But then when I see them do No Strain out with freaking Randy Orton and me, I was like, this is such a full circle for him because Takeoff is such a wrestling fan. I was so happy for them more than I was for Randy Orton, but I was like, oh my God, look at them. And then like just shout out to the Migos in general. Like I didn't know that like I had to do some digging to find out they were really all wrestling fans. Like Offset really religiously watched Ric Flair. His favorite feud was Ric Flair. He actually peaked the back and forth with WCW. He liked every feud that Ric Flair was in, and that's when they told him that he was gonna come out with Ric Flair drip. It actually took him a month to reach out and try and get Ric Flair to do the video. He wasn't gonna do anything without Ric Flair at least being in the music video. And then to put the icing on the cake, he also told Rick, like Rick was, when he got there, Rick was so excited. Rick let him wear his paddock. He got Ric Flair a chain. He let Ric Flair wear a chain. And then he was like, I'm doing Jimmy Fallon. And Ric Flair actually gave him a robe to wear on Jimmy Fallon. So like it's like for me, that's like the goal. Every wrestling fan wants that. Like people clown wrestling fans, but like, come on. I'm performing on stage in front of millions of people in Ric Flair's robe.
Oh man,
I win, bro. Like I win.
I'm more happy for like him than anything else because as a fan, I'm just like imagine being able to do this. Like growing up watching Ric Flair and now like, but Ric Flair, hip hop loves Ric Flair.
Oh
yeah, I was gonna say like Rick's influence runs deep. You're talking generations of like hip hop artists that grew up on Ric Flair, and why not? Because Ric Flair, we've seen him in the 80s and the 90s, styling, profiling, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, and all that stuff. And remember, a lot of us, and especially a lot of the rappers, you know, from nothing to something, we were all living in the projects or we're living in the slums, and we're watching Ric Flair in $1 million suits and with $1 million chains and $1 million jets and $1 million limousines. It's like, yo, I aspired to be that one day. And then so you have a lot of our generation looking up to Rick, and then on top of that, Rick always embraced hip hop culture, which is something that not a lot of people with that type of profile was doing, especially like in the 90s, where it's still like, is this a fad? Is this gonna fade out? We don't understand Snoop, we don't understand Pac or Biggie, and it wasn't until the late 90s where then it became commercialized to where it's like, oh, they could be multimillionaires, and there's like an actual future behind this. It's not a fad. Unfortunately, it's like Pac and Biggie and some others dying and whatnot, but Rick was always one of those few that really embraced the culture the same way like hip hop artists and a lot of us appreciated Rick and embraced him. So when you get like an Offset, like, yo, I'm not doing this music video without Rick. Rick was always down to do shit like that. And that's not the only music video Rick's ever done in hip hop. So that's where you get like that blend of generations of fans that grow up to where like either Rick is their favorite wrestler or he's top 5. And it's not just for the wrestling.
Right.
Who else has a song with Ric Flair?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Oh, Bad Bunny. Right.
Chambella. Holla.
He has the woo.
Cabrona no que te tambala.
He has him on that single cover.
Huh?
He has him on the single cover of Chambella. Yeah, him.
Bad Bunny Flair is in there, and he's the one that woos on the second verse. That's Rick.
I don't remember who said it, but they were saying that Ric Flair like represented everything like hip hop culture was about at one point, like the swag and the watches and
because
was it
like,
Snoop?
probably
Snoop is one of those
think
that's like
about it.
heavily influenced and talked about it publicly.
Right. Because when you think about it, look at what most of your rappers aim to be now. We look at, for example, Michael Rubin, who had his $1 billion all-white party. Most of them are showing up in luxury cars, Philip Patek watches, you know, Rolls Royce, top suits, looking like the cocaine boys of Miami. And that's exactly like limousine riding, jet stealing, wheeling, dealing. That's exactly what Ric Flair did. And a lot of these guys now look at what they look. They basically, if anything, Ric Flair and a lot of other people who were dapper back then, they're the prototype. Because if I can be somebody in the culture and look like somebody like Ric Flair and do what Ric Flair is doing, I've made it.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get Snoop out the way, because I think he's probably the most visible like wrestling fan in hip hop. He's been involved in AEW, WWE for a long. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes.
Yep.
I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
He went in the year Sasha won, right?
The year that Sasha, he does
not
Sasha's
one, but
entrance.
Yeah.
That was the same year he goes in as Hall of Fame because they announced him as Hall of Fame Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. And he is the host of WrestleMania. Well, he before at 24, he was involved.
He saved WrestleMania this year.
What?
He saved that segment.
Is he
this
the
year.
only
segment.
Is he the only celebrity two-time host?
I want to say yes. Wait a minute.
Was he considered the host, or was Kim Kardashian? No, she was the ambassador.
No, she was the ambassador that year.
Yeah. Okay.
I would know if Kim hosted that year.
Right. I want to get into some of these comments though. Black Thoughts. I was talking to somebody recently about whether or not Ric Flair is racist, and it was a good conversation. But I want to talk about that at another point. No, I did not see Snoop versus AJ and TNA. Did that really happen?
Wait, did that really happen?
Snoop had a match. You know, Black Thoughts being.
How about to say, was his frog splash better than the one that he gave in AEW?
Ooh, even Sasha was like, Snoop, you should have let Mercedes, like, yo, you should have let me.
No, you know what that did though? If anything, it made it look that it's not that easy to climb on the top rope, because everybody climbed more. It just looked like so flawless. When Snoop went up, I was like, yo, wait, it's really that hard? Like, that was a don't try this at home moment.
Yeah, but at least he got to live his best life. And I think, and of course, Black Thoughts is true.
No, I was actually Googling it.
Nah,
me
no, he's too tall.
Like,
he can't do
do that. See, this is
he's too tall.
He
don't move too fast.
And he's too thin. Like, imagine him trying to put the belt on, and the belt just slides down on him because he doesn't have muscle to him.
X Division wrestlers, they still got a little bit of muscle on them, but they can move. So you can't. It's a balance. Like, think Kenny King and all them. Balance.
Yeah, so, Snoop's not short. He's like what, 6'4", 6'5"? He's tall. Right.
Tall and lanky. Oh gosh. Let's try to still have a good show.
Brother Hugh.
Don't do this.
Let's try.
We didn't wear our shades for you this week, but
Little Birdie said you might see Brother Hugh this weekend.
Ooh. Yo.
If he comes, it's gonna be a good time.
All right, so I want to talk about when in the early 2000s, where WWE tried to capitalize on hip hop culture at the time. And I can't help but think about like John Cena's his whole shtick in the beginning was him emulating the culture at the time.
But you know what's even funnier about that? That gimmick literally saved his job. They were gonna fire him. And I laughed because when I watched the Ruthless Aggression docuseries, he literally, and it's like, that's the one thing I love about like a successful person, always is willing to admit when they failed or when they were going to fail, when it wasn't going to work out. And he flatline said he thought he became the perfect pro A type. He was a heel, but he knew that it wasn't working and that he literally knew he was on his way out. And then Stephanie hears him rapping on a bus. And it's like, you know what? Why don't you run with that? We'll try it out and we'll see how it goes. And then boom. a joke turned into like one of the most inspirational things to a lot of people in wrestling, even though it has its backlash because the tone behind it is you have to take from us to be successful, more successful than us. But like, come on, even me, who's obsessed with hip hop, your girl had the John Cena CD. Like, come on, I'm one of the reasons why he went platinum, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Cena went platinum.
Yes, he's certified platinum for his first album.
And it wasn't too bad, Seindole, because you gotta remember, like,
recording artist to his resume.
Yeah,
RCAA certified.
He really to go.
And what helped Cena was also the time, because we're talking about the early 2000s. By that point, we already had Vanilla Ice. We already had Marky Mark, where he became Mark Wahlberg and started doing movies. So we've had white people infiltrate in rap. But then we had Eminem in the late 90s that really took off, was respected. Everyone liked Eminem. Everyone respected Eminem. And Eminem really blew up to where when Cena runs with that gimmick, now it's a little bit more acceptable to where it's like, all right, we could fuck with Cena doing the rapping gimmick. And even though Cena rapped like a fourth grader, those bars hit. I'll give him credit for that. Now, Vince, on the other hand, do-rag Vince, yeah. We're going to say that for another fan club because I got words about that one.
That was horrible.
That was so horrible.
I'm going to get through this without laughing. Because you can't mention John Cena without the Kurt Angle rap. Y'all have to Google it because I swear every time I watch it, every time Kurt Angle tries his hardest to copy somebody else's gimmick, it's hilarious. And when he did that it goes great with that. And it goes with him coming out with Sherman, Sensational Sherry, and making fun of Kurt. I'll make you. I'm just.
That was good. That was good.
Him turning the hat backwards and doing his little goofy ass white boy dance. That's just like Kurt.
He said, "I'll make your ankle hurt."
And we still missed out on his best years. His best years was in TNA.
His best.
Damn.
Something else.
That's interesting.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Different,
into some of these comments. John Cena and Rikishi had a rap battle?
I vaguely remember that.
I believe so.
It did. It's on YouTube.
We have
because Rikishi stuck around for a while. Like past the Attitude Era. He stuck around
because
for a while.
He had like he even rapped his own theme song.
I'm
at
a bad
one point.
man.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
And didn't they have that album where he put a little ass on it? He did that originals. Was that on? Was he on that?
No.
He did.
Put a little ass on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they use it at Freaknik.
What?
I don't know. They use it at Freaknik. Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
Is it going to be on the documentary?
It might be on the documentary. Everybody Freaknik. You might see your uncles and aunts. You might hear some Rikishi. Who knows?
So can we talk about this Method Man comment real quick? Because I'm like obsessed because I'm watching Power.
Oh, I do remember that one.
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't know if that was on the aggression one, but I remember they ran with that for a little bit, and it was like, wait, Rock's not coming out to his theme, but then it was Method Man rapping. It was like, yo, this is fucking fire. Who authorized this? And then, of course, they changed it back because Rock's theme is kind of iconic. But that was one that was like, yeah,
that was good.
That was one of the crossovers that.
Did you see?
That's the one. I mixed it up earlier. It's that one, the Rock and Method Man. The Slick Rick one was that song on WWF The Music Volume 5 when he did Pie. That's what it was. I mixed it up earlier.
Wyclef, didn't he do a song too?
Yes, he
did.
It
doesn't matter.
Yep.
I was so hyped seeing like the music video with The Rock.
Not only does he do the song, I remember like he did the video and it was one of those like big TRL world premieres, Wyclef Jean with The Rock at one of the Rock's Apex, and it's fucking, hey Rock, I just bought it doesn't matter what type of Lamborghini you bought and all this shit. While he's
like, I just got a Ford Bentley. It doesn't matter if you just got a Ford Bentley.
Yeah, it was a big deal because it was the height of like the TRL culture. Rock is at his apex. Wyclef is now going solo from Fugees. this was like a big deal, and then that crossover, it's just like, wait, The Rock is doing a fucking Wyclef song?
Man.
Oh, that was cool. And I found out so late that Little Kim did Trisha's entrance
A lot of us did.
song. Like I was like, wait, and then you hear it and you can't unhear it after that.
You cooking, Vaughn. You
I'm
cooking with that
surprised
one.
it took you guys that long, because when you hear the rap part, I was like, yo, that's 1000% Kim. Like, who do you think that is if that's not Kim?
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let's go into some performances because that's always a very highly debated topic. Like, do live music performances have a place on a big card show like WrestleMania and everything like that? I remember Diddy performed at WrestleMania 29. And
went to
when I
pee
tell
when that
you,
happened.
I never seen energy go like this, like at a wrestling show
Really?
so fast.
Yeah, I went to pee.
It's like not. I mean, I was excited,
I wasn't.
but it was like it felt out of place.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's the funny story with that. I had a feeling that the next few moments were gonna be long because Pete, did he go on before or after Taker and Punk?
I don't remember.
I think he was before. And I was like, there's no way I paid all this money to sit in the cold. Mind you, also, it rained that goddamn day.
I remember hearing about
Vince,
that.
if you think you're going to bring your ass back over here, stay over in the warm where we got to go. It was cold and it was wet on top of that in April. So I'm out there in a jacket. It's cold. I had eaten. Somebody gave me a free drink. Don't remember that part. And then like the rest of the pay-per-view had went on as smoothly as it can go. It was nice. But then he starts coming out and I'm like, I'm not a fan of Diddy and I really need to pee. So I literally had to march my black ass all the way up, go to the left, come down, and all you hear nothing. You hear like a few people also follow behind me, and then you hear some people like him trying to out up the crowd. Mind you, though, I thought it was gonna stop at him using him and Biggie's song as a montage because I could see the montage going up, and it actually looked pretty good. If they had left it at that, it'd been great. But they performed it. I'm just like,
some of them could be a dub, but then if it makes sense, like I want to go back and watch Ice-T doing Pimpin' Ain't Easy. Like that just makes so much sense. That's lit to me.
So I want to be there with Flo Rida. I would have jammed with
Flo Rida. Just goes. I don't know why. I just feel like he goes with WWE. I don't know why.
I've been I think that I love when they perform the interest themes, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a whole vibe. It's a concert, like kind of cheating, but it's a bigger deal because it's like we think about when Snoop bringing out Sasha. It's just like this is a big match feel, Same like with boxing, you have like Floyd come out with Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that because like in WrestleMania 28. When Diddy performed, the crowd was okay, Then you had Flo Rida, you had MJF, but MGK. The way they did it, it was kind of like this person performed to kind of like calm the crowd down because they knew they was going to take you for a ride with Cena Rock. That was the main event. It had been built. When Flo Rida performed at WrestleMania 33, it was like, oh, is it because we in Florida? And this my thought, like. The last WrestleMania I was in Florida, he was performing.
I like that song.
Here we go again.
Song is so good.
I like that song. Red light, green light, give you a tank.
But that's when I got up.
Green light.
So like for me,
when I flew to New Orleans for WrestleMania 34, I was playing that as we were taking off. I was like, I gotta set the vibes, and that shit just is a vibe setter.
But yeah, that's when I got up because I'm like, I don't need to hear this, but. For the sake of like live audiences, yeah, it might not have a place, but then again, it's also I would rather take my bathroom break during the performance than during the match.
And you see where I was at, because like, come on, cold and free alcohol and being there for like 6 hours. I had to pee at some point, and it wasn't going to be with Taker and Punk. It wasn't going to be that.
Yeah,
and you know what it is too.
Unfortunately,
you could have did doing Ryback and Mark Henry.
I mean, I also like watching Ryback get back.
I
like Mark Henry, so
it was
I was not going to
cooking
miss
at
that
that
match
time.
either.
You know what it is too is the fact that Vince wants WrestleMania to be as big as the Super Bowl, and we know that the Super Bowl is infamous for halftime shows and halftime performances. So that also explains why we get musical acts to get that crossover appeal and whatnot. There's sometimes it doesn't hit, and sometimes it does. Like Brian was talking about Flo Rida, and I think the reason why WWE keeps going back to Flo Rida is because his music is perfect for what WWE tries to do. With as far as we want to go entertain the masses, we don't just cater to just adults, and we don't cater to just men who know like lyrics and shit like that, like a Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. Like Flo Rida's got music to where you don't really have to censor him much because he's not cursing as much. He's not talking about guns and drugs and killing and picking bitches and all that stuff. And also like Flo Rida's like catalog is a lot of like stuff you hear on like the radio, or now that's what I call music volume whatevers. So it's very family friendly oriented to where like you hear Flo Rida wherever. And then like we just said, Flo Rida is vibes. It's a lot of up tempo, upbeat. I actually want to get up and either dance or do something versus like if certain people perform, like when Uzi Vert came out and performed at this year's WrestleMania, I was just like, why?
Yeah, but
it's like killing the mood.
But it was for the kids. Like it did the same thing that Flo Rida did. Like what little kid do you not know, no matter what age or what color or where they're from? The minute you hear that song, you automatically do what he does in the video. Like, do you know at Legends, like we were watching WrestleMania and people, grown ass men, got up and did that dance. That it did what it was supposed to do. So shout out to him, and I know he has a new single out using Shinsuke Nakamura's theme because he sees how much of his impact was there. So you can't knock the hustle. He's not doing anything different than what anybody else did. I did.
Oh, I definitely did like a couple times.
How
is
it? Good?
I like the way he blends Shinsuke's theme into the beat. I would say that whoever produced that did a very good job. The lyrics and the song itself is like, you know what? This one's not for me, but I love whoever produced this beat. Because this was a great blend.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he did it on the hopes of being in Philly next year, which
that would be a good look.
Yeah.
Because he's like a Logan Paul where he may not be your cup of tea, but he's global in ways that we will not understand.
You know what shocks me too? KSI is a rapper. Yep. But they're not using him for that.
You know why? Because KSI's got so many things going on. He's got the boxing career. He's got the stuff with the Sidemen. I know they're setting up a charity match in London that's coming up.
With Tyson Fury, right? He's trying to fight. He's calling out Tyson Fury a lot.
Wait, what?
He's calling out one of the Fury. He's calling one of the Fury
and another person.
And then they're doing a promo tour right now with him and Logan Paul, where they're doing different sponsorships around the country. They just did one with FC Barcelona recently.
And they have Arsenal too at the same time.
They do have Arsenal. So KSI is like supremely like booked to where it's like, I get why. But he was there. He was the one that threw the prime at Logan Paul during the match. That was actually KSI.
It's funny, like, and I find it funny. Your enemy now becomes your business partner and you guys are making millions. It's the weirdest thing, but it works.
Yeah, that shit's selling like gangbusters.
Hopefully one day we can get KSI to perform his smash single with Rick Ross on another pay-per-view, something.
Accusations.
Hey, KSI, Logan Paul, we're manifesting sponsorship. Send us some prime.
Right.
Some prime.
Preferably send me the orange because that's the fave. That's the one that gets me through the gym.
The ice pop.
Yes.
They just came out with the energy drink version of the ice pop, and man,
we drinking prime this weekend.
We are drinking prime this weekend. I'm gonna have to drink prime to get my ass to get my ass over there. Cause
I'll get you guys some, but you're not taking my stash.
No. I just need either the white one or the orange one. That's all I need.
Can we talk about a recent collabo? Jade Cargill's entrance recently.
Yes.
Actually, she hasn't been in the ring since this match, and I think her losing the title, like this was the perfect moment to have such a big entrance, and it worked with Jade Cargill. The song, like, it was perfect.
And it's funny that she lost her title because of that, because that used to be the thing in WWE too, where like if someone performed you out, that means you were taking an L. Because
don't say that because the Usos performing the Usos.
I mean, it stretched for a while. I remember the Dudleys came out at WrestleMania 18. Someone performed them out. I think that may have been Limp Bizkit. They took an L. Like it runs pretty.
I didn't realize
like, yeah, if someone performs you out It happened at NXT too, where like I
Happened to
remember
Randy Orton.
someone I forget the one that did Ember Moon's theme song performed her out. She took a L. It's like
Triple H.
Triple H, yeah.
Can we go throwback real quick?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We brought it up during our celeb episode, but Salt and Pepper.
Yes.
What a man. That's huge for the culture, yo.
Yes.
That's how I learned about that song.
That photo shoot with Bret, like that photo with Bret Hart, and yeah, because they were it back then.
Yeah, because it's hip hop culture, but it's also women,
right?
Female rappers. Where like even today we struggle giving it up to female rappers, but you go back to like Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah before she was full-time acting, you know, MC Lyte and that entire generation. So Salt and Pepper getting that crossover, and then Bret, obviously the GOAT, was like one of the most popular guys at that time, and it just showed like, yo, Bret was down for the cause. It was a huge like, oh shit, Salt and Pepper and
you
Bret.
got credit for it.
Yeah, that's true. Can we go on to Jagged Edge in the wedding segment
real quick? That I have to agree with Vaughn's comment, because someone told me, I'm like, I don't know, Bret like him chocolate. I don't care what nobody say. And then I had an ex that was like, I think you're bugging. I think you think it's a Canadian thing. And I said, no, I really think Bret like him chocolate. And then he gets divorced, and look at who his wife is. A chocolate sister. Shout out to you, Bret. I already knew. It's okay.
Bret came out with shades. Bret came out with a jacket. Bret's like, fuck it, I'm wearing pink. What you gonna do about it? Bret was wearing pink before Cameron did.
Yes, we got to get into that.
Yes,
Jagged
we gotta
Edge
talk
wedding.
to Jagged Edge. Shout out to UPN when SmackDown used to be on UPN.
So good.
That shit right there. UPN, Jagged Edge, like, come on.
That was the blackest of blackest weddings you could possibly ever see on TV. And then it comes off the hype of sitcoms having wedding specials. So then they had a wedding special, and you see nothing but sweet Southern little Jeff Hardy bobbing his head, feeling the vibes. Like, listen, I know I'm token, but I'm here. I'm enjoying this. And
I wish we could run that clip.
I know. Whose wedding was it again? I don't even remember that. I just. Okay,
Teddy Long and Crystal.
Yeah, I was about to say Teddy Long.
Of course it was.
You know, if it was Teddy Long, it had to have some soul in it.
Jeff bobbing his head like he had some seasoning.
And I thought we was actually gonna get that wedding completed too. I love Crystal Marshall.
I'm in defense of someone who has had close encounters. Southern white who can cook. It ain't. Listen. So Jeff, he's invited to the cookout if he brings something. So. Because they can cook.
We just got a first.
I've been to North Carolina, deep enough to know. Food down there. But yeah, shout out to Jeff Hardy knowing the vibes. He probably been around it a lot. And Bruce too. Oh my God, I forgot.
I forgot Bruce was there.
Wait, who's Bruce?
The comedian. The comedian from what was that called?
I totally forgot about
what's that joint called that used to come
He's
on?
He's probably in Soul Plane because everyone was in Soul Plane.
Yeah,
no,
he's done a lot of like
other movies.
No, what was that comedy? Not Comedy Central. The one that used to come on the stand-up show.
Def Comedy, yeah.
Def Comedy.
Damn, yeah.
Is that or the BET one? That deal?
Yeah, that's the one.
View. There you go.
Comic View.
Comic View, yeah.
Yes, it counts as crossovers. Brian Soulmate. It does, yeah. Comic View.
I miss Comic View too.
Wait, so why do you think hip hop and like wrestling?
I think Brian Soulmate's talking about what was it, Soulja Boy and Randy Orton? Soulja Boy was on Twitch fucking threatening to beat the shit.
Wait, I remember that.
Randy Orton's like, man, you probably like you 3'6". I'll kick your ass.
Cardi B and Lacey Evans.
Oh yeah.
That was
yeah.
Lacey worked herself into a shoot because he started talking shit to Cardi.
I'm sorry.
I'm not fighting Cardi
B.
I was like, Lacey, no. Not only is Cardi from the Bronx, Cardi has shown she will get active on Twitter and eat through your ass. She's like, I don't give a fuck if I'm worth $100 million. I'll throw all this shit away right now.
Take off my shoes and fight you. Walked out with a knot on her face. You think she cares about being fake punched and slapped? I don't think so. I'm not fighting Cardi B.
She used to strip at Sue's Rendezvous. Like, yo, she's a different level of savage.
Oh, 1,000%. And like the funny thing was seeing like non-wrestling fans not understanding like storyline and kayfabe, and them thinking like Lacey Evans is some random Karen, and they don't really like. So that was fascinating to see, like the commentary and the comments, and like wrestling fans arguing with them and all of that shit. And I mean, Lacey did what she was supposed to do. Like she was a heel. Why not get into it?
I mean, she tried her best to bring Cardi into the wrestling world because Cardi's been teasing at this. Cardi's thrown out there that she's a humongous fan of Eddie Guerrero. She grew up on the Attitude Era. She loves that ruthless aggression era, but she stopped fucking with it. And it's like, yo, WWE, that's sitting there whenever you want. Like, just drop the 7-8 figures into her deposit and get Cardi.
They paid Brock more than that. They got it. Never say never.
And not only that, but Cardi is excellent at promoting shit nonstop, ad nauseum. You see it right now. Where like anytime she jumps on someone's track as a feature, she promotes it. She does the video. She hypes up the person. She puts the person over. Imagine her doing that for WWE and getting all of those fans back into the product.
Yeah, just because she loves it so much.
Right.
And people love Cardi.
She's the best. Can we talk about something I saw in our notes that I had no idea?
Which one?
The No Limit Soldiers were signed to
You
WCW.
didn't know that?
I don't know.
It was like an open thing.
WCW, no. Nor did I care for No Limit like that either.
Look at Young Ray.
Wow, that's crazy. Why didn't
Rey
talk about
Mysterio
this
without the mask?
series?
But that's like Rey Mysterio has talked about it briefly. Is like he really like when he was young. Of course, he's from the 619, and the 619 they are also affluent to hip hop culture because it's like Southern California. It's like Riverside. It's like all these southern areas of California where it's like the urban Latino areas, and they're very like inspired by hip hop. So him getting to meet Master P and get to work with them and No Limit Soldier, it was a big thing for him. So, but a lot of people forget because when I looked it up, I was like, wait, I thought it was just Master P that was signed. No, he signed a whole label, and that's just a method to Eric's madness some way, somehow.
Well, man, you gotta look. First of all, if you anytime you see that logo, you know it's like when WCW was holding on for dear water.
Yes, that's the last years.
Yeah, but the crazy part was like, one of the I'm not like a No Limit Soldier person by any means, but it was named BA, who was actually signed, and it said 4x4. He went to become a part of the Harlem Heat. Actually, because I heard about this in like one of the recent interviews I was listening to, and you remember like Master P was more like. He was brand building. I think they might have touched on it in that No Limit BET documentary.
Yeah, he was trying to expand it a whole lot more, and the opportunity came knocking.
You know, because he was playing basketball. Then you know that's when he had Ricky Williams signed as under his agency when he was
Mystical got over as Rover around that time. Before Mystical got canceled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another idiot who messed up his career, but go ahead.
But like the No Limit Soldiers, and what made it so perfect about this whole story was it was rap versus country music. Because they put him against.
I was about to bring this up. I was like, lead to Rap is Crap.
Rap is Crap. About Mr. Perfect. And I'm gonna say this. I actually like that song. It's crap because y'all know Kurt Hennig did nothing wrong in my opinion. Like Kurt Hennig is on like my top 10.
Man.
So like for him and Barry Windham and the rest of the West Texas Rednecks that go against the No Limit Soldiers, and of course you had like Conan and Rey Mysterio to be the workers in there. But like that was such a fun time, and like I remember. Like my grandmother watching it and just laughing at the West Texas Rednecks. She's like, "Why are they singing that song?"
Yo, the fact that they went up against Rednecks.
It made perfect sense at the time because you gotta remember, like in the 90s, it was basically you're one of the coasts. You're either New York or LA. And in the late 90s, now you have the South starting to come up in Atlanta and Florida. Even though Florida's been doing their thing with Two Light Crew. You have Chicago in the Midwest starting to say something. You have No Limit, Cash Money, showing how New Orleans got something to say. Texas has been on the map, but Texas was a little bit more low key. Like, yo, now it's starting to be like, oh, the entire country's fucking with rap, but you still had certain parts in the
Resistance.
South that was like, yo, let's call it what it is, rednecks. That was just like, what the fuck is this shit?
And then you got AJ Styles who merges it all.
Oh Lord.
Cap, that's cap. That means lie. Lie.
He said he's
I'm
redneck.
dead.
What they said in the rap song.
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
What,
Oh, never.
AEW?
Yeah, I didn't know they're gonna put. So they got this blind eliminator tournament where they basically mixing the good guys and the bad guys, and they teaming Keith Lee and Swerve up.
Oh
together.
Lord, why did you do that to that man?
Like you got. Well, you know he's back. His hair's back. Black.
says, yeah, he got rid
Thank
of the
God.
storm color.
Yeah, but then you
call
also
it
got
storm
like
color.
MJF and Adam Cole gonna team up.
You know what though? I need to watch that because I'm all for the messery, and I see what Tony Khan is doing before his next big pay-per-view. So I need to watch.
Messery?
I mean, it's messery. How you gonna put
Messery.
How you gonna put MJF and Adam Cole together?
Trademark
Brian
that.
Soulmate, was that around SummerSlam that year when they did the Divas?
I thought it was Survivor Series.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was like a pool.
What was the song called? Oh, the song was called "Throw It On Me."
Okay, so it was around Survivor Series.
Ayo.
Yes, that's Timberland had it on. It was on Shock Value 1.
Interesting.
And he had them in the he had what do he have? He had he had the people in the six tag in the music video at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of music videos, y'all know that song "Pole Dancer" by Wale?
Yeah.
So that I didn't even know that had a video, mind you. I love that song. It's with Meg, and the girls are in a wrestling ring, like it's a wrestling gym themed music video, and Meg is in it. And it just makes sense. Like Meg is like, I don't know if you said it, Justin, but they was like that she's built like a wrestler or something. But I can see
she has the
Meg
physique, she has a talent, she shows like, yo, she's athletically, she's flexible and whatnot, to where like we were talking about this on the previous fan club, where it's like if we had a female equivalent of Bad Bunny who would come into wrestling and actually be good. And I was saying Megan, because Megan she's young enough, she has the body, she has the physique, she has someone like Bianca that can train her to where it's like, yo, Megan can actually pick this up and actually be good if she wanted to do this.
Speaking of music videos, the Bellas and Trey Songz, I was surprised to see them in that video. I was happy for them because that is a big thing. Like
that's when they first left, right?
This was on. They were on Total Divas with this. They filmed the behind the scenes with it. This is when they just came. This was when they just came back, and it was funny because I know Trey's theme song. The theme behind that was having powerful women in sports, or the most attractive women in sports in his videos, and he picked the two of them. So
I love that crossover. Yeah, remember when The Rock came out with with that verse, that rap verse? I know a lot of Rock fans try to act like it didn't happen, but he definitely
hit the thing for Men in Black.
Nah, that's y'all man's. Y'all gotta
neutralizer.
Where's the pen? The neutralizer.
I'm about to pull it up.
You did not just spit 16 bars of ass.
No, but speaking of The Rock, you know who I grew to love because of The Rock, and I'm not gonna preach. I'm so late on this, and don't judge me, but Tech 9. Like I'm so late.
Yeah, because it was his
Tech
school,
9, but I started listening to more Tech 9 songs, and I was like, wait, this actually isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then that song that he has with The Rock is such a gym. Like we talk about wrestling theme songs you go to the gym with. You can easily sneak that in there because it's like, we're gonna take your face off. People like, yeah, takes to the squat rack and just start.
It's like,
about
yes,
drive.
I need to finish this superset. Let's go, Tech 9. You better talk to me, Ross. Talk to me like you mean it.
No, you're gonna take your face off. I was just like, this seems like this sounds like you're walking onto the football field and you're about to go kick some ass. It does what it was supposed to do.
Sorry, I'm trolling Rock fans on Twitter.
With you. Oh my god.
Go to the pub.
Why? What's P saying? Apparently, it doesn't matter.
Rap battle, because For me, it was like
goodness.
super cringy when I first watched it because like freestyling isn't for everybody. Like battle, like what they were trying to do, like a rap battle, is not for everybody. But do y'all remember this? Y'all was fucking with it.
How do we not forget this? This is
I
around
loved
the
it.
time of like when the whole stuff with Paige and the leak came out, and then the whole Paige Xavier Woods connection. So
First
it was
of
like
all,
not only do you have this coming out that W's trying to put this quietly under the rug because it got leaked, but then you got Woods involved in this fucking rap battle, and Usos was like, yeah, you know what we're about to do? We're definitely using that fucking line. Just don't go all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods, and the crowd fucking the fact that the crowd even knew what he was talking about, but everyone was just like, "Oh,
And it was on
Woodsy."
4th of July that year.
yes, it was on
Talking-
4th of July.
The wrong type of fireworks went off for Xavier Woods.
Nah, bro, real talk. I kid you not. That's exactly what happened. Like in the neighborhood I was in at the time watching it. It was like during the time they was just shooting fireworks. It was like after all those bars, it's just like pow, pow, pow.
Pew,
But
pew,
this,
pew, pew.
this was like, I didn't hate it though. Like I'm always, it's always fun watching like a good rap battle. Maybe because I don't like take it seriously. So I'm just like, okay, what's the punchline gonna be? And
So how did you feel about the rap battle between the Acclaim and the Gum Club with a little Scrappy in the
see, you
middle
just
on
had to take it
AEW?
over there.
I'm sorry, but like if we're talking like this rap, both sides did a decent job.
No,
They did a decent job coming for each other's jugular, but Max Caster ended it. He was like, you got a couple of botches that's already on the clock in a reality TV show that nobody watched. I was like,
but how many people can come from Max Caster though?
this is true.
Like,
I mean, it was coming for his daddy.
Bar
So
for bar.
And that's the thing with the rap battles, especially when wrestling does it. There's only two ways you can go about it. You can go about it like how Wild and Out does it, where it's about the punchlines and having fun, or you're gonna really go there like you see with like the Remy Ma type rap battles. But that means you're going at each other's throats to where like someone's about to get stabbed or shot in the spot. Someone's gonna say something very flagrant, and if you can't take it, this is about to be a fight real quick. And so wrestling always takes it like the Wild and Out route. Let's have some fun. We're gonna get these jokes off. Make sure the punchlines land, but keep it kind of like to where we're not gonna actually throw hands after this.
Remember when Cody was spitting bars though before WrestleMania?
Oh, when he was rapping Pac?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
that doesn't count. He was trying to get them on his side.
I was like, wait, that sounds familiar.
So then
I
they
was
stepped
like,
on the
he
scene.
was on point. He was like out on bail. He said,
Cody's like, I know how to rap,
like,
Pac. Pac is simple. Enemies and Hennessy are my enemies.
No,
but I think Cody
Brandy was back there. Brandy was like, listen, it's as soon as I step on the scene, all of the hoochie screaming.
Wait.
First of all,
Brandy didn't say shit about that.
Right.
Googled that herself.
Like,
Brady's probably Googling and was like, oh, that's what he was saying this entire time?
Because Cody definitely like he grew up in Atlanta. So
this is true.
Yeah, Cody got that life. He's like,
people love his family.
He listened to Outkast, Goody Mob.
Hugh said when he was doing some work with AEW back in 2019 when they had Full Gear here, and he was like, yo, when Cody came in there to do his photo shoot, he's like, yo, this dude coming in there singing No Limit and all that. He's like, just kept saying, so it's like Austin Theory last year when somehow we ended up at the club with him doing SummerSlam weekend. Like we was talking, it was that Thursday night was a night I will always want to forget, but I never will. But we was talking and he was just like,
Cody from Georgia. You know how Georgia gets down. Georgia's got a heavy
and that's what me and Theory was talking about. You know, he was talking about like T.I. and a bunch of like other Atlanta rappers that I personally never heard of, but
Jeezy,
like
Gucci.
Well, I know them, but yeah, that's what.
But again, it goes all the way back to Outkast, Goody Mob, Dungeon Family that set those tables, and then Ludacris, T.I. started catapulting it even more.
That's why I said more Cody knew what to say than Brandy.
And also in the early 2000s, that's a Little John era where Little John was fucking like everyone for like 5 straight years.
Another over the top pop like personality that I wouldn't be surprised would have mixed it up and did it a little bit.
Can you imagine his promos? Okay. What? Yo, him and Stone Cold having a what off?
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. Can you do it? Can you do it?
What? Yeah.
What? That was just say him in LA Knight.
That would be
yeah. What? Ski.
With the ski. No, we can't say that.
I can't.
No, you know Vince will be back there in his fucking do-rag with his
Don't bring
painted
up
on
Vince in the
mustache.
do-rag again. I'm having a nightmare now.
Yo,
I'm having a nightmare.
now
thinking
I have
about
that
damn
image of
do-rag.
him in my brain. Like it really lives in my mind rent free. I don't know why.
But
Sometimes
Brian,
that's wrestling. Like there's just always going to be certain things that you just think about and just make you pop. Like, what are you laughing at? Nah, you wouldn't understand unless you know follow the business.
Or
hey,
you
man,
walking, they walking by the TV and you're like, why is there a white man in a do-rag? What's
in
this?
a
What is
three-piece
this?
suit in a do-rag with a
Yo,
hardcore title.
The things that are
The ECW title.
Oh, the ECW
Child,
title.
I would have loved to have been in the room when Vince walked in with the do-rag on, because you know you can't say anything. So everybody, I would love to have been in that room and just seen everybody's reaction. Like, what?
Vince would turn around like his name was freaking what's her name from the Real Housewives of
Yo,
like, who gonna
oh
check
my
me,
god,
boo? Sheree. He gonna be like, who gonna check me, boo?
I'm googling it, and he did a sit down interview.
He did with that do rag.
Oh my god, this is about to be my screensaver.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Do-rag Vince
Oh
is
my
my
god,
favorite
this is
Vince.
hilarious.
As long as he's not dropping M-bombs, that's my favorite
Oh
Vince.
my god,
Listen,
this
you
is
know
the
better.
funniest thing I've ever seen in my.
I mean, he knew better. He still did
life.
it.
That was his boy.
Oh my god, that's my favorite. Matter of fact, that's my favorite wrestling hip hop crossover.
Which one?
Is
Vince McMahon in a
Do-rag Vince.
Yes, do-rag
Hold on.
Vince.
in a Ferragamo suit
What
and a
up,
do rag.
Jay?
That's your favorite moment.
What up, homies?
With a Ferragamo cream suit on, that's your gift.
Yo, P is about to laugh her ass off
And then
after
his
this
son
when
backed
she
him
goes
up.
to
His son
YouTube on
didn't
this.
make it no better.
Nah,
His son just made it worse.
This
Oh,
about to be funny. Give me 1 second.
Oh, tell me you're getting a photo. Tell me you're getting a photo.
Mm-hmm.
That is gonna just like.
I'm just like,
Dude, y'all said we was talking hip hop. Y'all ain't said we was talking trolling hip hop.
I mean, it's all the same. You know, we're
I
talking
take the
about
L.
You take
You
that.
know, oh my god, why are there multiple? Oh my gosh,
There's a
Mm-hmm.
whole
there are
foul because
multiple photos
you
of
don't
him
understand.
wearing a do-rag.
When that happened, remember,
How is this
we were in the age of
real?
Twitter. We were in the age
Vince.
of Twitter and MySpace. People had that as their MySpace profile
Wait.
pictures. Yes, he had all pink.
Yes.
That Ferragamo, that all pink Ferragamo. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh my god.
And that was all because he beat Lashley for the belt. And Lashley didn't
And
wear
he thought-
do-rag.
Yeah, he was trying to jab at that. Yo, the stuff they consider inappropriate. I swear to God. Now
remember Zach-
the whole network be called.
Yo, look at the photo on the left and him in the pink. He looks like sperm.
He looks like Cameron. He looked like he hung out with Cameron and Hart on 125th for 8 hours straight and learned that pink and do rags go together.
Now,
That's
you
what he
know
looked
Vince
like.
ain't traveling to 125th. He probably got to like 96. It's like me
Yo.
halfway.
This is too much.
You
yo.
bring me some Kennedy fried chicken at
And
96.
Shane didn't make it no better. I'm like, dude, you just let your father. You know what? I wouldn't say nothing to my daddy neither because I'd be like, you know what, bro? Do you old? You worth $1 billion. Do what you gotta do, my guy. Do what you
Probably
do
because Shane's
best.
look at him like, yo, this is a tamed down version because the cameras are on. Do you imagine what happens when the camera is off and he's like trying to perfect this shit at home in his multi-million-dollar mansion?
Fly on the wall, like
He's
what?
in his he's in the bathroom brushing his teeth with the robe on, with the do-rag still on and shit like that.
Oh,
Nah.
there's more.
Look
But
at
wait, there's more.
Oh my
He had
God.
different
The fact that he had different colors,
Oh,
like
yes.
as we said right now, yo.
He had
No.
a color to match the suit.
They
And
was
then
trying
his
to get,
ties were different colors. Y'all
they was trying
realize
to get
that?
ECW over, yo.
Now, the one
That's
on
the
the
way
bottom
to
left,
do it.
The one on my
that
bottom left
fucking
is my
elderly
favorite.
white man in a do-rag.
Man has a
Because they were
nice.
trying to say it was extreme and added with attitude. I'm like, dude.
Nah, him having different colors is sending me.
Yo, that
Him matching
bottom
them with
left
his
is
suit
perfect.
too. Yo, I can't.
He coming out to Santana's town, but his Vince.
Santana dip. I'm done with y'all. Santana said, I'm done with y'all. It's not Dipset. I'm done. God, I need a break.
Yeah,
Because it's Vinnie Mac for life. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. He ain't going nowhere.
Can we so we watch Dynamite as a family. So let's talk about AEW for a second because they actually feature a lot.
They got do-rags on?
They do. A lot of hip hop artists have showed up in AEW. This is Lil Scrappy, who is a wrestler. He wrestled. He was like tag team champions with I think Stevie J, which was wild and random.
Yeah.
Rick Ross.
Accusations.
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 Yo.
Accusations.
You a big motherfucker.
But the thing is, like over there, see, like at least there's quality control in WWE. Ain't no quality control.
Yeah, because you could tell Ric Flair was like, "I'm paid to be here." Accusations.
What's that dude name? West Side Gun. I think like he didn't get
him and
Griselda.
Yeah, but he didn't get the treatment at NXT or WWE the way he wanted to. So it was like he showed up and AEW rolled up. It was one.
Yeah. Now he sits front rows at those shows.
Yeah, like AEW rolled out the red carpet.
You ain't gonna miss me. I'm standing up like 90% of the time. Be like,
and he was
he
was at Full Gear.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
He's traveled as far as but I mean he be getting front row seats, child. Good for him.
I remember running into him at the WrestleMania 30 after party. I forgot that was West Side Gun. It's like, who the fuck is? Oh yeah. Damn,
but you know what though? It because I thought that I forgot the guy who wrestles with him. Conway was more the fan, but I guess because West Side Gun had already had a solo career, they just focused solely on him, which is where the miscommunication came from. But like they put him more, they put mainly West Side Gun in the picture because he's a solo artist, or he's more notable, I want to say.
Oh wow.
So what does everybody think though about Max Caster and his raps? Because he's gotten in trouble for a couple of them.
That's what's always funny because it's like, okay, what is he about to say?
Yeah, if you're gonna like rap, if you're gonna like freestyle a rap in wrestling, it's kind of a promo. So you kind of gotta say something punchy, or it's like, why are you doing this? So I mean, that's how I found out who he was on Twitter, was because people were like talking about his raps, and then those same people that used to complain started like looking forward to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The part where I have two of them that are my favorite. He says one where he's like, I have a real question to ask. How y'all Dark Order when all y'all are white? Because it was like, and then he did another one when we were at when he came after Big Cass, and he was like, your ex-girl told me to say SAWFT, and the crowd was like, he talking about Carmella? Because he said your ex told me your ex-girlfriend said, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, Tony just be like, listen, dude, do what you gotta do. Break a 3rd, 5th, 17th wall if you got to. Make it sound good, and don't get me in trouble with Warner Brothers. I swear that's all he be saying.
No, literally, like, have fun, do your thing.
Don't get me in trouble with Warner Brothers, because
I know Warner Brothers be like, what's up with all this curses? Like, bro, it's Rick Ross. You gonna tell Rick Ross no? It's like, oh shit, you got Rick Ross?
I don't think I will.
You got Trina and Fabulous, like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Trina seems to like kind of like being involved. Like you know when you have a celebrity that's hired to be there, then you have a celebrity that's like, okay, I'm gonna get into this. I think Trina's one of those people where she doesn't mind, you know.
And that too, and Action Bronson, you could tell he really enjoys it.
Oh, definitely definitely Bronson.
Yeah, I actually like Action Bronson. I like him, and I like his food show.
And I love the song he did for Hook. That's such a banger.
It is a good theme song. So
Which one?
It's his theme song.
Hook's theme song. When he comes out, you don't even know me. That's Bronson.
Oh,
The
Yeah,
chairman's
that's
intent.
Bronson.
oh,
Chairman's intent. Yeah.
that's a nice little making wrestling themes. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I love his versatility. And that's the cool thing about like wrestlers, like hip hop artists and wrestlers mixing it up. Because it's like they're all performers and entertainers at the end of the day. So it makes sense that there's like that vibe there.
I think Jadakiss at one point even appeared there.
I can see that.
I know Fab definitely did during Grand
That took me
Slam
by
week.
surprise.
Yeah.
I was like, Fab. I like it because Fab's got bangers, but Fab and wrestling, like, I didn't know that.
Me neither. Imagine how cool they appear like to their kids though. Because that's what I think probably gets
But
them
I
back
think that's what
into
it
it.
I
is.
will say this, Siendo. Jada is a big WWE fan because I remember Survivor Series weekend when we were in New York. He sat literally right behind me, him and his kids for Survivor Series. Like he's really into that shit. Shout out to
Wow.
Jada. I know his kids look
Wow.
exactly like him too. I was like, wait, I know that's fucking Jada. But I wasn't gonna make a scene because he's with his kids and shit like that. But I was like, bro, he's literally like right here,
Thanks,
right
Tro.
here.
I'm always interested in like how rappers and people's kids who get into wrestling,
Right.
but like if their parents aren't big into it, like how does that happen? Because most people say, "Oh yeah, it's a kids thing, it's a kids thing," but like for me, I ain't have a choice. Like my family was already into it, So I always wonder like how do people whose families aren't into it get into it, and then like even with rappers, like when do they decide like, all right, I'm over as a rapper now. Now I can start throwing in my wrestling references.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think of this, like, think of how we were when we were kids watching it. It's nostalgia. Like, to see the excitement on your kids' faces, you're really gonna rob your kid of that happiness by saying wrestling's fake. Don't watch it. Like, no. Like, I was a little girl watching The Rock and Brock Lesnar get whip each other's asses. My father and my mother did not have the guts to tell me, okay, show's over, don't watch that. They were just like, they're amused at the fact that their little girl likes boys beating each other up, and as long as I'm not beating nobody up in the process, they move on with it. And I think that's just what it is now. As far as hip hop and wrestling, you think of what do those two things have in common? Roughness and aggression. We associate hip hop with what? Roughness and aggression, even though it
Feuds,
tones
rivalries.
right. It's all the same element. Like wrestling, the article that I reference everybody, a really good article. I hope I can put it in the comments. It's in the Ringer. Shout out to everybody who's not as great as Brian in the Ringer, but shout out to
Shout
all
out
the
to
other writers
Jonathan
there.
Irma.
Yes, he wrote an article that would compare wrestlers to hip hop, and it's a very interesting article. And it's not just naming people. Like he even went in to say that like he said that certain wrestlers would be like the Kendrick Lamars or the Tupacs or it's a really good article. And when you think of the comparing of the two, you actually can look at it and say, wait a minute, they do have the same attitude. They do have the same, like they've basically said he says Stone Cold was Tupac, which makes perfect sense. Tupac was a rebel, Stone Cold was a rebel. They both said fuck the authority, fuck this, I'm an outlaw. Stone Cold was all that in the bag of chips. It's a high comparison of the two, like hip hop and wrestling, because of its aggression and attitude and alternative towards the culture. It goes hand in hand. Like I wouldn't today, even if you want to slip rock into that category, because rock is the alternative. I will sit on a hill and die on it and say I think hip hop has more of a connection to it than rock music. Yes, rock music is loud and it's aggressive, but like if you want to see people who are misunderstood about what they're doing in an aggressive way and fighting and going through rivalries day and day just to survive and be at the top, I think hip hop and wrestling are neck and neck.
They're basically a marriage. Like think of it like this:
Yeah.
like being able to bust a verse, a 16-bar rap, is the same as being able to cut a promo. You have Diddy in the Bad Boy era where they're wearing $1 million suits and the jewelries and the chains are the same shit that Ric Flair was rocking back in the 80s and 90s and
Right.
whatnot. And even if you're trying to keep it grimy and gully like, Cash Money and No Limit, you also had like what Crime Time. You also had
Yeah.
MVP. You also had
Yeah.
other rap wrestlers that had gimmicks like that. Even like Moxley and Eddie Kingston are very hardcore and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of similarity and crossovers where it's like, yo, if you look at rap and the culture and you look at wrestling, there's a lot of similarities where it's like almost paralleling each other.
Yeah. you almost gotta like kind of play a gimmick. Like I can't help but think about like 50 Cent, where once he kind of figured out what his image was going to be, and then he kind of played the gimmick everywhere he went. He wore a bulletproof vest everywhere. He was able, like, he stayed in kayfabe in interviews, like in the beginning of his career. So like a lot, like you said, a lot of those similarities of like presenting that image, being larger than life. You know, raps are literally like promos. Like you have to, I can't think of all of the rap battles are basically like promo battles too. Like, just kind of goes together.
Even
people
kids like
beef.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, where like we know you don't live this life, but you're living the gimmick and shit like that. Something like certain wrestlers
Living the
that's
gimmick.
like living the gimmick.
Like even in this article, I found it funny. Like the one thing that threw me off was they compared Chris Jericho to Kanye West, and I was like, wait, pause.
That's not a bad.
I was like,
comparison.
I didn't get it, but then I'm reading like the whole reason why he said that. And I'm like, okay, now we got it. They are really similar. There's from their speech impediment to saying what's on their mind, because Kanye said what he said about Trump. Jericho said what he said about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They both say what's on their mind. They're both it makes sense. And then he goes on to say that CM Punk is Joe Budden, and I lost my shit. I started dying. I started dying.
Makes so much sense.
It makes sense, especially when Joe Budden put out that tweet that was like, y'all still watch wrestling? And people were like coming for him. They was like, oh, John Cena makes more than what you made in your whole rap career. And you better chill, because Randy Orton like has amigos and he can send them after you. Like Twitter went fucking crazy. And I'm like, Joe, you now understand why people don't talk shit about people like wrestling fans. Now you get it. And he was just like, I think the tweet was more along the lines of, he was like, oh, I heard somebody's watching wrestling. How old are you? And I was just like, bro, don't do that. Don't do that.
I hate when people do that shit.
Don't do that.
It's like, bro, Game of Thrones isn't real, but that didn't stop like millions and millions of people to watch fucking Game of Thrones or buy the books. You had the biggest celebrities in the world watching Game of Thrones. Beyonce left the BET Awards after she performed to go watch the fucking Game of Thrones.
Really?
You had, listen, Comic-Con would have died on its last leg if it weren't for two things: the Marvel fandom and the Game of Thrones fandom. Because the amount of people that were dressed up in Game of Thrones, I swear to God, I thought I was in I thought I was in Westworld. I swear to God, I thought I was in Westeros.
I could co-sign this because I remember when Game of Thrones did the pop-up shops here in DC for like the summer, and that was like the hottest attraction in the fucking city, where there was like lines going beyond blocks just to get in there because they had the Iron Throne. They had different like drink setups for like Game of Thrones stuff. They had all the flags for like the houses and whatnot. And that was like, you almost like had to go like very, very early, or you weren't getting in because everyone and their mother was trying to go in there.
Yeah. You want to know who he called Triple H? He said Triple H is Dr. Dre.
I can see it.
That makes sense.
So if you guys want me to put up this article, I will gladly put up this article. It is a really great article, but it just sensitimizes. It made me think like, holy hell, this does, like, hip hop and wrestling do go neck and neck, because it is the exact same thing. Like, people had beef with each other. People had promos against each other, trying to one up one another, which is what rappers do when they're trying to run up one another. So from the chain wearings, the flashy gear ring, like all of it is hip hop, but just in a different form, just in a sports format. Like, it fits so well.
It's like with the rappers, they're not getting in the ring and fighting each other, whereas the wrestlers are.
Right.
And that's where the story concludes, is in the ring. That's the only like difference. Did y'all play Def Jam Vendetta?
I did, religiously.
Really? I played a little bit, but not as much as like a lot of people like.
I used to love playing with Redman, because Redman used to say some outlandish shit. He was like, I can't say it because it's Twitch. I don't know if I can, but he said something about wiping his old you know what with it, and that was my game. Long story short, like, even the storyline, like homeboy getting set up, and you gotta find out who set him up, and then he gets involved with like a guy who's taking on the guy. Like, that was my video game. I'm sorry.
So Vendetta wasn't, but right here, Fight for New
The
York
Fight
was
for
my
New York.
shit.
Yes.
Oh yes. I was
I
like, you're
loved it.
merging my worlds, wrestling and fucking music with Def Jam. Especially Def Jam at that time had a loaded roster. It's like,
Yeah.
say less. Here, take my money. Take my money. Take it.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
crazy.
remember this. This is what he said.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yo, if anybody remembers, comment if you agree. His whole storyline, like the whole, like how, and that's another thing
Max
too,
is up.
like the way that he sucks for that all the time.
No, that's like the thing. Like now we're talking. I was like, wait, Max is up.
He
He ain't saying
rapping?
for crazy. Yeah, but I missed it. But if he had any bars,
But think about how WWE 2K and Raw versus SmackDown used to be set up, and think about how Def Jam Vendetta was set up. It is the exact same format. And then you think about it, and you think about the fact that even Redman's like he would go back to the crib and Redman be sleeping, and they really needed Redman for something because Redman had the key or
That's
some
so
shit like that.
funny.
And used to fight in the subway, used to fight in like a street corner alley, used to fight in front of a bodega, used to fight in all these random ass places, but it was basically like WWE like used to be able to fight in a street fight. The same damn thing, like the exact same format. And then he was asleep the whole storyline. And then like towards the end, when you finally made it towards the end, he woke up and he was like, "Oh shit, what I missed?" I'm like, "What the hell?" I
That
used to
sounds
like
like
when I
Redman.
tell you I used to play it on rotation. Shout out to Redman Injury Zone. But I used to play that on rotation. Same format, yo. So when I got that video game and then my brother got Def Jam Vendetta, I was like, yo, this is like playing wrestling. I'll play it. Like,
I gotta Google this because if they have Fight for New York on PS5, I'm buying this.
yo, I'm telling you, like, it was addictive. I used to love that game.
I think Fat Joe was in it. Buster was in it.
Jax produced it. Yeah, that's probably why.
Wasn't Elephant Man also in it too?
Yes. Yes. Everybody who was basically signed to Def Jam was in there.
Catch an elbow and do the Willie bounce.
That's dope. I love that they saw that as an opportunity, and then we like played it. That other album, like it all crosses over dope. Can we?
Oh, they did have
and
Sean Paul.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Sean Paul.
They had them in there because it was literally everybody signed to Def Jam at the time. Like you said, their roster was stacked. So like I guess they were like, shit, might as well. Yes. Omar Epps was light. Yes. Put that comment up. He was light skinned. I remember.
Imagine getting put in a figure 4 by Sean Paul.
Why was Omar Epps on the game?
As
a character, as a playable character.
See, I've been on a kick.
He playing like one of those movies. Wasn't he in
I don't remember him doing wrestling. He's been like a boxer and other like sports movies.
Def Jam was
Def Jam was branching because Def Jam was one of the biggest like record labels. Period.
Yeah,
they signed everybody. I think
I've been on
they had movie
retro
artists.
game kick. When I get back on, I'm getting that game.
Oh, he was in Juice. That's why he was in.
Yes,
he was in Juice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I guess
that's Def Jam.
The hip hop correlation.
I think Def Jam. I think did the soundtrack.
It was done by It was done by EA Sports Big.
Yeah,
so
I remember.
Like,
EA Big.
Sean Paul was like Ring Mysterio. Yo, y'all gotta stream this game. Like,
we gotta get this.
Yeah, because
the jeweler. That's hip hop.
EA did WCW video games, so that's why.
The last one.
Yes.
Yeah,
what was it? The Backstage Assault
and Mayhem.
Did they really?
Yeah. So what happened was they got upset that THQ decided to let No Mercy and SmackDown come over from Acclaim, and then that's when they said we leaving, which was the biggest mistake ever because those games compared like the WCW games was like super successful, but once they went over, it was terrible.
Yeah, he had so it says here that DMX, Method Man, Red Band, Ludacris, NERE, Capone, Scarface, Ghostface Killer, Keith Murray, Joe Budden, WC, and DJ Master Flex, Funk Master Flex were on the game, and it said that Christina Milian was playing. Her voice was Angel. And this was Vendetta. I was like, dude,
That sounds
nostalgia.
like early to mid 2000s Def Jam, which is about right.
Hmm.
Because then it's like, where's Hove? Because Hove was partnered with Def Jam for a while, but I think at that time Hove was retired.
Yeah, and the second sequel was crazy because they had Mobb Deep and Ice-T in that shit, and I was like, and Busta Rhymes.
Rah rah rah. Woo ha! Figure for all in check.
I'm done with you.
Hit him with the elbow.
Justin, what are you doing here?
Hey,
Yo,
man, this is my lane. Let's go.
because of who? Yeah. Oh wait, they had Bubba Sparks in that game too.
Yo.
The amount of but I'm telling you, y'all can't play that.
Russell chose me, so I kick his ass running like a nosebleed.
Comment down below if you're going to download it, because apparently it's still out there to play. You can still play it.
Yeah, like I said, like a couple years ago, last 2 years, I went on a spree to get like a lot of the old games that I either had or didn't have. So like I got all like the wrestling games, and I was like, but now you're making me want to get that game.
This would be like a great Twitch crossover. Like, which character would you be?
Man.
And it's also cool to see like how it aged, because you see like how the gameplay is now. Like, I think of like Spider-Man Miles Morales. That was like the last game I played start to end and was just like, holy shit, this is fucking phenomenal and also addicting. But it'd be cool to see like, all right, if that's recent and they're about to come out with a new one, let's go back and look at like Def Jam Fight for New York and Def Jam Vandetta, see like how the gameplay is like, yo, it's been over a decade. Let's see if it's aged well or if it's aged poorly. Like, some games.
But and then it's crazy. Like, I say it's the same format. Like, I remember playing, and you used to play like a street fight, but you used to have like a crowd, and the crowd had weapons, and they can give you the weapons. You had to press like FLX to take the weapon. So the most ghetto is shit, but it was all wrestling. I like that. And I was playing wrestling, and I was playing Need for Speed. Those are my three.
Ooh,
those are my top three.
Wait till we
Speed was my ish.
We gotta do a video game. Yes,
we gotta go to. Y'all gotta come to get this game nights. I gotta find a game night for us to go to.
TWG presents Gamers Gallant.
Yeah, when we had a Dream Team family trip, I'm bringing the PlayStation. I'm bringing the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
Tornado gaming match.
That and the Nintendo 64.
What? Dude, you know I still have a controller. I still have a controller. I still have two controllers. Yes. Functionally working.
I got two, so we have four.
Let's go.
64 got 4 ports.
Let's go. Yo,
sounds like
I mean, you gotta remember, Fat Joe was like Fatter Joe back then, so of course he's gonna be like super strong.
Pump.
What?
No, Fat Joe is child.
No, Fat Joe was a cheat code.
Hilarious.
Wow.
Thick Joe.
Talking about my cousin like that. That's crazy.
I mean, he's healthy. He lost a lot of weight now. He looks good now, but back then he was bigger.
He wasn't looking bad. He wasn't bad back then either.
Nope.
Nah, he wasn't.
He requested to be the strongest.
So.
That sounds accurate.
I feel like Justin's gonna get kicked out, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody avoided something that would have got him kicked out.
He's on fire.
No, he's been on his best behavior. He hasn't brought up.
If it's who I think is coming up, I will say like I was listening to some of his music earlier before we hopped on, so I'm not gonna say anything bad about him today. He ain't fresh about it.
You've been doing so good. Don't get kicked out. Stop it.
No, I actually no, but here's the thing. I actually put this on social media recently where I gave him his flowers, and who we were talking about is Bow Wow. Because like Bow Wow has joints to where like Bow Wow always sometimes says stuff or does stuff to where he gets clowned, and then we forget like, yo, this is a guy that has been rapping since he was a kid and has a catalog that like outside of the elite top rappers, anyone else would kill to fucking have.
Right.
His catalog and have half of the success that Bow Wow's had. And Bow Wow's had longevity in a way that some people don't. It's just a matter of Bow Wow just says and does stuff from time to time that gets him clowned, and sometimes it is deserved.
Do you think that's why AEW never really fully pulled the trigger with him being involved the way like they do with all the other rappers? Like what? Like why hasn't he done more? You think?
I don't think they knew what to do with them, but at the same time, it also depends on. You gotta remember, sometimes it depends on availability because now that outside's back open, you have festivals where some of these artists are booked, or you have the Beyoncés and the Bad Bunnies that are like doing world tours. Some of them are doing albums and promos. Like you guys, to do wrestling like that, especially if it's gonna be like a storyline to where there's a payoff, is like you gotta have like at least 3 months to where you have some flexibility to wrestle or appear or get in the ring and do stuff. Like I think about when Bad Bunny did WrestleMania 37, like he basically cleared his calendar and lived in the PC day and night to learn the basics and then learn the stuff for the match. That way he could put on something solid in that tag match.
Power drivers.
Yeah. But he cleared his schedule and did the work. Some guys and girls can't clear their schedule. That's why as much as we want Megan, Megan's probably like, I'm booked and busy doing other shit.
There's no way, like that takes a lot of time. And I respect anyone that puts the work into the craft because it's not as easy as it looks. And I could see someone like Bow Wow like seeing what it really takes. And even like Snoop talks about like the physical endurance when he did that move in AEW, like that wasn't easy. Like even what he did when he saved Shane in the Mrs. segment, like that was not easy.
And no shade at Bow Wow, like he has limitations to where if you put him in a ring and put him next to a wrestler, it's not going to be aesthetically pleasing because Bow Wow's not the tallest, he's not the biggest. But if you put him even something to like, too. Yeah, like if you even put him next to like Max Caster kind of like towers over Bow Wow to an extent.
That's true.
It's just fun to see. Like, everything don't have to be a 5-star match. A lot is about the moments. Give us the moment.
Have a moment with like Jade Cargill or something.
Yeah, but then it was with Jade Cargill. Who's gonna fight? Freaking what's that lawyer? Mark Sterling. Give me a freaking break. Even he's like stacked, and that would have been the weirdest thing ever. Like, I'm still coming off the fact that I was weirded out by Snooki being at WrestleMania. So I can only imagine what that was going to look like. And I agree with Justin wholeheartedly, where I say it would have had to cook in the oven a little bit longer. Thank you. Shout out to the Michigan. But it would have taken more than a couple of weeks to get Bow Wow ready for that. And now we're not just getting small WrestleMania appearances anymore. We're getting athletes and singers turning into wrestlers like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. So now they're looking at them two and they're like, well, shit, now I can't come in on my bullshit. I actually got to train for this bitch. So the next person that comes, they're not just gonna come here and do like one simple move. And even do the small little appearances, that's it. But they're gonna try and come correct like Bad Bunny and Logan Paul have, because those are two full blown they can put superstar in their resume. And I think that's why most of them now you don't see it as much, probably, is because everybody's trying to do the same thing.
Right.
And shout out to Logan Paul, because Logan Paul just did a recent interview where he talked about Money to Bang and talked about the spot with Ricochet that we all saw the Spanish Fly to outside. And remember, they didn't land that flush, because they both hit the ropes wrong to where Ricochet hit first and it fucked up Logan Paul. And remember, Logan Paul is still new to all this. So this was all Ricochet audibling, but also doing this on the fly. And they're doing a fucking Spanish Fly on the outside through the tables where none of them were perfectly set. It wasn't like, all right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. It's more like, fuck, I can barely keep my legs together. Fuck it. Let's go. So then to think of like, yo, Bow Wow, can you do a fucking Spanish Fly like that? Can you audible on the fly?
It's not that easy.
It's really hard.
What's funny, who even talked about it, and even we can talk about him, I feel like, because he's a DJ, but Diesel, aka Shaq talked about how he's been in sports his entire life. That one match he had fucked him up completely. Like, it messed up his equilibrium. And he said he joked about it because his son was there front row, and his son looked at him and he was like, "Dad, you're not looking like you're piecing yourself back together." And he was like, "No, I'm not." And for someone who's like sick something, played
Yeah.
basketball all his life to tell you that it's not easy.
7'1".
Yeah, like
Shaq's a
7
big
something
boy.
to
It's
tell you that's
huge.
not easy. It's not easy.
That's why they wanted him to be serious if they was going to do that match with him and Big Show at WrestleMania.
Right.
That's the reason why they
Hello.
just had a moment.
Yeah. That in hindsight, that was probably the better choice, if
Hmm
anything,
Because
because
it takes a
clearly it's
lot.
not for everyone. No, it does.
Back then they didn't have the people like Bad Bunny and Logan Paul that were willing to be like, you know what, I have a huge career and I got a lot of riding on something else, but if this is something I actually want to kick off the bucket, let me take the time. You had
Right.
some of them that were like called at least 6 months in advance, like, hey, we got a spot for you at WrestleMania. You down? Sure. Let me clear my time for this one day where you guys are gonna show me what to do, and then I'll fly in 2 days before, and then we'll rehearse, and then we'll just say our prayers and drink our milk before everything happens. Like those two guys from SNL, I feel so bad for them because what the
Same.
hell were they thinking? What
Same.
the fuck? Like,
Mm.
but now you got people that are devoted like Bad Bunny and Logan Paul. You
Right.
can't just where are you gonna go after that? You can't do what you used to do. Like you gotta
No, you
come
really can't.
correct.
And like Brian said earlier, it's not about like necessarily wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also just like creating those moments.
Right.
So back to hip hop and wrestling, I want to talk about WaleMania, which I think is probably the biggest crossover of wrestling and hip hop, and that brings a lot of people in the wrestling community together. But I think one of the dopest things for me this past year was seeing Elliot Wilson backstage. And if you are a hip hop head, you definitely know who Elliot Wilson is. Right now, he's I think the chief content officer title, but
Yep.
he curates a lot of stuff.
He's one of those well-connected professional hip hop historians, like
100%.
someone that's like, if you're really in the
Yeah.
mix, you know who the fuck Elliot Wilson is.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So seeing him backstage at WaleMania was such a like, oh my god. He even tweeted that he was gonna be there, and I was like, this is huge. Like, what a
That's a big
perfect
deal.
crossover. And then also just how like transcendent the hip hop culture is, because it takes a hip hop and wrestling event is the one event that brings every wrestler from every promotion, all the podcasters, they all come to this hip hop show. And I remember discovering it and seeing like Samoa Joe freestyling and shit like that. I'm just like, wait, where they do this at? Like, I think WrestleMania is the best. I'm sure y'all have a lot to say about it. Not just going to the event, but what it means for the wrestling and hip hop culture.
I mean, you can even go to the close, right? When Wale did the exclusive with Foot Locker, and you could see like just how like when Bianca went there to the signings and stuff, how she would match it with the Jordans and stuff. You know, just watching how like all that stuff pairs together. But yeah, it's a party, and the thing about WaleMania, what it did was it showed the world that people who love rap also love wrestling, and wrestlers love rap, and you could see that right there, and that's what was like freaking amazing. Because even if you wasn't into it, like Omar's rapping Jay-Z in Dallas, you know what I
That
mean?
was so fantastic.
Yeah, so that was the thing. It just really showed the world, like, oh, wait a minute. So there's a whole people who follow. It's a whole group of people over, thousands of people that follow hip hop and follow wrestling, and they not ashamed of it.
And the cool thing about it too is it drops all the tribalism at the door, because it doesn't matter if you're here from WWE or AEW, Impact, the Indies, whether you're big time or small time, everyone turns up and parties. It's basically like the kickoff to WrestleMania, though, that entire week and those endeavors, because that's the only time you're really gonna get the talent to really put their hair down and turn up, because then they're gonna go through like 96 hours of like the grind. We gotta do interviews, we gotta do this, we gotta hit the gym, we gotta wrestle and stuff like that. And for fans, a lot of people come in early because they want to take in the sights and stuff like that, but they also want to turn up and party. Like I remember WrestleMania 34, I didn't attend it, but I started to hear about Wale Mania because that was when Matt Hardy got involved and was partying on Bourbon Street, fucking getting drunk and just wilding on Bourbon Street, and some of the wrestlers were doing a similar shit. To where WrestleMania 35 was one I actually really wanted to go to. My brother talked me out of that. I talked about this on Fan Club. That was the one where Samoa Joe rapped Hove on stage. That was when Shad Gaspard had Kofi on the shoulders and whatnot. Everyone loved the Kofi. That was that one.
Our boy Kyrie, shout out to Kyrie, aka Sid Vivid. He's the one that took that picture.
Yep.
He took that picture. He took the picture with Biggie and Biggie, Xavier, and Kofi together. He took the picture of everybody doing the click. He took all those pictures and then just
he hooked us up this year.
And then you go into WrestleMania 37 where like everyone pulls up. This is the first time they do WrestleMania in a couple of years because of COVID. But then you had Jade pull up, and now that Forbidden Door kind of got unlocked. And now you see Jade interacting with different wrestlers and whatnot. Yeah, because Dallas was just a vibe.
I see, and then I look at the pictures from LA. A lot of people I see, Roxanne Perez was there. I see that, you know, Carmella. Why do I have
Carmelo?
just a tongue? Yeah, Carmella was there. I see like a whole bunch of people just there, like Trinity and Jade being in the same place.
Yeah, you got the entire Usos pulling up.
Hold on, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, the tribal chief has been banned from TikTok.
I saw that.
What?
I feel like Jey Uso's behind it.
Yes.
Wait, what?
The tribal chief Roman Reigns has been banned from TikTok.
No,
so the tribal chief doesn't protect his tribal McNuggets at Money in the Bank, and now he loses his tribal TikTok.
Ooh, you're so lucky. I don't have the authorization.
Wait, no, I'm gonna cry. What the fuck are you talking about? Because I'm following him. You're so.
I was sitting there, you know, and they saying the tribal, and I looked. I did my diligent research. You can't always trust screenshots.
I was gonna say, is it real?
Yeah, and sure enough, the tribal chief has been banned from TikTok.
There's
he about to be over on Threads now.
His account's gone. Are you?
He about to be on tout. That's what that's about. Him and Daniel Bryan gonna be the only two people over there.
Bring back the Vine.
Yo, Vine, yo. What
you know, time. But you know what WaleMania gives me? WaleMania gives me two things. It gives me, so my other deep dive is about, we talked about New York in the 80s and during the epidemic of like high profile dealers also being involved with hip hop artists. So like Rakim and Bumby, all them being involved with like high end like drug dealers and all that stuff. And but what they used to really do is throw these lavish ass parties and show up like everybody knows about the famous picture that got Frank Ocean, like what's his name? The drug dealer that's portrayed in American Gangster. It got him basically caught.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, it got him caught by wearing that fur coat to that party. Like parties like that, like that's where it gave me. Like everybody had problems with everybody. You weren't supposed to be on somebody's turf. When it came for you to party because of that one promoter told you to come and he's going to throw this lavish ass party and all these rappers and everybody's going to attend, you came to the party. And the same thing with like Studio 54. Everybody who could go to Studio 54 got into Studio 54 and it was extra excess. You had Andy Warhol partying with with Grace Jones. You had Diane
Justin Rhodes used to go to Studio 54.
Yes, like that's the vibe that it gives me when I look at WaleMania. It's that. I have never been yet. So, but that's the vibe.
It's a vibe. It's like, and the cool thing is, it's word of mouth. It feels like as like New Yorkers and whatnot. It feels like the tunnel when everyone used to pull up at the tunnel, and like your rappers, your big time rappers, your rapper's favorite rapper, everyone will pull up and everyone will be like, "Yo, this happened at the tunnel, that happened at the tunnel." That's what WaleMania turned into. Where it's like, "Yo, if you don't pull up to WaleMania, usually you'll see like the next day where it's just like that flood of like clips that hit social media where like this person pulled up. That person did this. You saw this. You had that. Wale brought this person out. They did an impromptu. Yo, this is where I got fucking. I was so like furious because I couldn't go and I was jealous of you guys when they did the tribute to Big E because I didn't know they were gonna do that. And then I was like, fuck.
And Naomi and Trinity too.
Well, Trinity we knew. Big E was an absolute surprise, and that was when I was like, motherfucker, because Big E doesn't come out like that, and you're probably not gonna get him out like that again. So
yeah,
like,
and
damn it.
I think Kaz even said it like we had to like trick him to come outside so that we could give him that tribute. I think Kaz said it or someone like they basically had to like convince him to come out.
Andreas too, because
Yeah.
Andreas and Big E are close.
Nah, but sitting up there seeing the Usos' mom, you know, and getting a chance to talk to her, and I said, "Look, I know you proud, like just seeing
Shout
all
out to
your
Stephanie
boys."
Hardy.
Shout to Stephanie. Yeah, I have to
Yeah,
go. I don't know
was
why.
Stephanie was partying.
Everybody was like, if you don't go to WrestleMania, go to WaleMania. I'm like,
You be partying, Stephanie? That's what I'm talking about.
yes.
So when you go to
Oh my
WrestleMania in Philly,
God.
make sure you come Thursday because
Philly
Thursday
gonna be a
night
movie.
is going to be WaleMania, and for the people
That's
that didn't get to go
always
to
the
LA, are pulling up for Philly.
Oh yeah, Philly is gonna be a movie, and I love that merger. Like when I heard that this event existed, because it mixes like my things I love, things I'm passionate about, a hip hop party / concert mixed with wrestling. Like it really doesn't get any better than that, and it all just goes together so perfectly. Yeah.
And it's just bigger and bigger. Like I said,
I'm
like
sold.
WrestleMania 34, it was word of mouth. This year's WrestleMania was like, yo, if you're not here, you missing out. It's almost to a point where they got to start streaming WrestleMania for those that can't attend. They're at
That
that
you know what
point
though,
now.
I can see Wale doing that because now there's all these platforms. Like, there's no way. Like, imagine you guys said that the content chief officer of Title was there. Imagine you seeing an alert from Title saying now streaming WaleMania. It's never. It's not a. It's not an impossible thing.
So see that happening
like-
because, like, you know, it's gonna get bigger.
It's like, think of it like this: Elliot is one phone call away from Hove. You
Right.
got someone of that caliber in the building.
Right.
And
I
then
was
also,
like,
and even
very
Dallas,
close.
where Dallas had Brian can attest to this, where the Ringer did the actual Cheap Heat show.
We did it
Masked Man
last
show.
year. Yeah, Masked Man, make sure you get it right.
Yeah, the Masked Man show from WrestleMania. It
Get
shows
right.
like, yo, now you're getting those sponsorships, you're getting those deals.
Yeah.
So back-to-back years, yep. And this year having the Usos there, like
That
Usos
was
and
huge.
Solo on
Especially during they're like the hottest thing
the
right
main
now.
event. Like no offense to the Street Profits because that was dope last year. You know, having
You
them,
got the
but
main eventers
to
of
get the
night
main
one
event.
It
in
was
the
the
building.
start of the show. And it's funny because what Brian's saying, like, and Stephanie's saying, like, you're in the room with like wrestlers and everywhere, and you would think you would be like fanboying or fangirling, but because it's such a party environment, you don't really get that feeling.
Right.
Like, I don't know
It's
if
just-
you
like,
guys
it's fun,
agree, but
And the best part
Yeah,
about
it's
it is
like-
everyone is chilled. No one's going
Yes.
stupid. No one's acting crazy. No one's getting
everyone's
wild,
just having a good
pissy,
time.
drunk, and violating. It's like everyone is chilling. Everyone's being
Nah,
respectable.
somebody was knocked out on the third floor of this shit. They was asleep on the couch. Them was a P, remember? I think Terry was like, yo, he slumped.
Like Studio 54. I'm trying to tell you.
But you know, nobody bothered them. They just let them.
No, they
Sleep on
just
the
did their
couch?
thing. I mean, it's VIP, so you know, everybody just did their thing VIP.
Mhm.
Oh, so now you're flexing.
No, we
Yeah, now you flexing. Yeah,
We were
look at that.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Put it that way. We were everywhere.
we've seen some of them pictures on Patreon. Y'all flexing.
It was a good time. But Philly's gonna be fun. I'm excited to bring that to
Dude, I'm
another
excited
city.
for that.
Like,
Is it
hopefully
expensive?
Meek Mill's a part of it, Lil Uzi Vert.
To answer Brian Soulmate's question real quick, no, if you plan it out, WrestleMania is not expensive to get in. I think VIP is different,
No.
but
Yeah.
no.
It's not. It's like a regular,
London.
like, you get to the club, you buy drinks and all of that. DJ, all that good stuff. Are there any other hip hop and wrestling collaborations, connections that we haven't gotten into yet? There's so
I never
many.
knew that Run DMC performed at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
WrestleMania.
I heard a
Was it
couple
4 or
times.
5?
Five.
Yeah, low key. There's been more black artists that's performed at WrestleMania than anything else. Because at the end of the day, you know, but you know, even from the Gladys Knights to the Aretha Franklins, but definitely, you
To
know,
Living in Color.
the hip hop
That was so
artists
cool
have been
to
a
see.
driving force.
100%.
Hell, Uzi
Yeah.
Vert's
No,
not
I'm
the
so
only
glad you
person to
said
make a
that.
song about a wrestler. You got Bad Bunny doing an entire song for Booker T. You got
Yeah.
Westside Gunn has done plenty of songs for other wrestlers and whatnot. You got
MGK.
I remember Pun references
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels in like once or twice on the Capital Punishment
They was
album. So
big
you're going
wrestling fans, yo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then shout out to MJK for taking that spot because holy damn.
From Kevin Owens.
Always damn.
a power bomb off the stage, even if it's like padded. That's like, bro, you're falling.
I'm
How
still
many feet?
falling. Enough.
And you're
Yeah.
not used to
And
taking
then-
bumps. It's like, bro, we can make this as safe as possible, but that's still gonna be like, shout out to you, man.
P, you gonna hate me, but the year that I went to see New York, I went to a festival for a day, and Flatbush Zombies were the midday headline for the festival, and I didn't know that Biggie was actually there. Like he was there with someone at that
Oh my
festival because he's a
God.
huge Flatbush. Him and Kofi are huge Flatbush Zombie fans, and they're fans of him. And he was there, and I was like, wait. And then I look on social media and he was there. And I was like, I hate that. I hate when I go somewhere and someone famous is there and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even get to notice that they were like untouchable, but they were over there. You know what I mean? But Flatbush Zombies, I'm surprised they haven't performed either, but their songs are pretty much they're like Brockhampton. Kinda. Or I want to compare them to what's the name of the fan? I forgot the name of the band. They're fans of CM Punk, and I can't remember their names.
Oh, Living Color?
No, it's a different rap. It's a rap group.
Oh, rap group.
Hmm.
Do you know someone that's in the group?
I want to say Killer Mike. Is it? Hold on.
Run the Jewels?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, Run the Jewels. That's fuck, I forget the other one, but that's like Killer Mike and it's a duo. But yeah.
I do
Killer
remember
Mike's
this.
solo now, so
Oh, is he?
it's his. The other guy's name is LP. They make Run the Jewels. Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't know this.
Remember, well, Killer Mike used to be a rapper by himself with because he appeared on
Oh
Outkast's
no,
album.
I know that. I was talking about this
And then he
comment.
had
Named the song after Eddie Kingston.
Yeah,
I need
that's why I
to-
say that.
I mean,
it's
West has got a
mostly
couple
West
songs
Gun,
named after
West
people.
Gun. It's mostly West Gun Kelly, but yeah.
We gotta people gotta tap into him more to take advantage of how much he loves wrestling, yo.
Well, that's why he's chilling
cool.
at AEW because WWE wasn't getting the hint.
You know, he had to say something like, "Yo, I be buying front row tickets. Y'all can check me out."
Y'all don't even want to let me meet
Lost
Roman
a
Reigns.
You
Y'all
know
don't
he a
let me
fan
hold the
because he
belt.
goes to NXT too. He
Yeah.
goes to
That
NXT
part.
shows, WWE
That
shows,
part.
AEW shows. He don't discriminate.
He was
Yeah, we
at
got
the-
we got to mix it up with him. Manifesting getting him on the show because I would love to hear his love
On
for
that
it.
hill,
How he got
on
into
this
it.
comment, I swear Stephanie grew up hood because she had to have like for her to sing "Bust a Move" the way she was singing in Carpool Karaoke.
Right,
I'm like,
that was good. That was
and
cute.
Triple
I
H,
liked it.
Triple H couldn't say nothing but just let her do her thing. I was like, you know what, sis, do your thing, girl.
Yeah, we got to see Stephanie's playlist. Like, what you else see? Yeah, in there?
I am so intrigued. I could tell Triple H might like him some hip hop music.
You guys catch him? He was on a late
I
night
can
show
see
lip
that.
singing something. And it looked funny.
Yeah.
It looked funny. I forgot what was it. Jimmy Fallon? I think it was Jimmy Fallon. He was like lip singing something. I have to find that clip.
Oh yeah, he loves wrestling.
Not MJF
and-
going to boom with Adam Cole because that's his tag partner in this
funny.
Eliminator. It's the Adam Cole and then MJF doing it with him.
And isn't it his
It's
birthday
such a
today
setup.
too?
Yeah,
Just-
and now Adam Cole's about to do the part we get in the ring. MJF ran around in circles and then got in front of him. It's just like the
That's
funniest sequence.
I like that.
talk about a pairing that's like, we didn't know we need this, but we may need more of this.
What you call it, Seindole? The what? Messy is this?
The messery,
Messery.
The mess
the
with it.
messery, or the mess tone, as they say, it's like we're gonna have some mess tone up on this stage. But,
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to trademark that.
He got a shirt that says better than Bay Bay. And he...
I can't
Love
wait.
it. I love me a good heel.
See what happens when you let people from Long Island run wild.
Ooh. I think we're gonna have to
And
make
I,
a scandal.
I need the Messery
They want the
t-shirt.
merch.
Yes, we need the merch.
They want the
The
merch.
Messery.
Gotta give it to him.
It's a travesty and a messery all at the same time. And nobody to clean it up. I'm trying to tell you. He does have a song called Hacksaw Jim Duckett. Oh, I said I would do this. Shout out to a sandwich shop if y'all ever come to Jersey, like ever. There's a sandwich shop in Montclair called the Dutch Sandwich Shop, and they actually have a sandwich called the Hacksaw Jim Duckett. So shout out to Amir, because I did say I would mention it on my show, and I did go eat there. Their food is amazing. The food is amazing, so we're going. Even if I have to buy all the sandwiches and bring it to y'all, we'll do that.
How about
Because
a fan
them
club
sandwiches-
sandwich? Sandwich named
I'm gonna
after
ask
fan club.
him. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna tell him he's gonna have to tune in and see if he can get a sandwich called the TWG fan club or something. We're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to work logistics. I like the Razor. I like the Razor freestyle. I like that song.
Did he
Have y'all
make
heard
that
it?
after he died? Like a
I
tribute?
think this was before.
Okay.
I think it
It's
I know
technically
people was
called Bad Guy.
got you.
That's dope. Damn, I really learned a lot in this stream. Like a lot of hip
shout out to my brother because
Same.
my brother is so inspired. I don't know if you guys ever heard of his song. I'm putting it in the group chat. He has a song called Love Virus Volume 3. And in the beginning, y'all hear it because I've used it before. He has the whole promo of Macho Man Randy Savage. You know that promo where he's like, cause it's mind boggling to you, yeah. And he was like, there's no one left, no punksters holding me to the left, no pukesters holding me to the right. And my brother used the whole thing. He was like, I'm a champ all myself, all by myself. And it's like when I first heard that, I was like, Peter, is that Macho Man Randy Savage? He was
we'll
like,
share it on our socials.
Yeah, run that.
Please, I'm gonna run that. I'm gonna send it to y'all right now because it's funny because I just wore that shirt. Remember the shirt that shout out to Patricia because Patricia has now ignited my passion to get all the Macho Man Randy Savage shirts in different colors. It's when I had a gray shirt on. So when I put that gray shirt on social media, I always use that song. And then I took a picture in the snow, my annual snow pic, and I put it up again, and people were like, "What song is that?" And I'm like, "That's my brother's song."
Love that. And I didn't know this about Nas.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
That one.
But I know a lot of people that love the Iron Sheik. He really resonated with a lot of people.
You gotta
or
remember,
like love to eat it, whatever you want to say.
Was it WrestleMania 1 and 2 here in New York, Madison Square Garden? A lot. Around that time, you gotta remember the Nas's, the Biggies were all like teenagers and kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
Rebels.
91, my first wrestling show I go to, 91 SummerSlam. That's when hip hop really starts taking off with this generation. So you probably had them in attendance as well, or watching from pay-per-view.
I just sent it.
That's so true.
But you think of like WWE's like hold on like New York and like how like New York was ground zero for like a lot of WWE content.
Yeah.
To where a lot of rappers, especially on the East Coast, really grew up. Whereas like I got to see Hogan, I got to see Brett, I got to see Shawn, I got to see Ramon, WrestleMania 10.
Right. You remember that WWE's home base before it was Florida was New York City. Like they had the Manhattan Center on lock. They had MSG as its first home. They had their Long Island. They used to take over Nassau Coliseum almost every pay-per-view. So before they were home comfortably in Florida, it was New York. So of course a lot of the inspiration is gonna come up here. That was their territorial start. And then with the spread of Vince now saying, and remember when they first said they were going to do WrestleMania, the first press conference was in New Jersey. So when you think about their growth down the East Coast and slowly over, it would make more sense for all the inspiration to be on the East.
Yeah.
And then you look at that time in hip hop where like the East Coast really had a stranglehold of rap.
And then West Coast showed up and tried to.
LA had, Pac and Snoop and Dre and NWA, but like the entire New York where like every borough had someone. And especially in the 90s where like everyone was getting big, and even Jersey right across the bridge.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. The Rough Riders had a pay-per-view theme. What? Wow, y'all really throwing the trivia out here in the comments. Thank you.
I told you this thing is generations of like influence.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that even like a Soldier Boy knows who the fuck Randy Orton is tells you like, yo, this is where wrestling hip hop is.
Yep, it's true. We can definitely do a part 2 to this, because talking about hip hop and wrestling, or even just music and wrestling, really does go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad this came to be, because we didn't know what we were going to talk about this week, and then Little Uzi Vert dropped the Nakamura song, so it kind of just was perfect to talk about this. And I'm a huge fan of WaleMania. I talk about it all the time, so just kind of being able to put a spotlight on how the culture merge is dope. I want to thank all of the VIPs who joined us tonight. As always.
Who said Nakamura? Somebody else put that on Twitter, and I was like, damn, I like that.
Shout out to Vaughn, shout out to Andre, Trell, Keith, Rakarsha, Brian Soulmate, Dylan, of course, everyone who joined us, Black Thoughts. I'm gonna text you. I might have some good news about MSG. Same with you, Seindole. We're gonna be in town. But we shall see.
We're gonna have to get on that midnight train to DC, child, because I got a lot to do.
Jesus, it's gonna be a long weekend for sure. But I'm excited for BlurCon. We'll all be there. It'll be a little trip, little gathering with the crew. We're gonna see all of our friends. I think Vaughn, you're gonna be there. Black Wrestling's gonna be there. Jabatir. Shout out to Doc who invited us. It's gonna be a good time. Wrestling karaoke.
Dream panel.
With the dream panel.
I finally get to meet the rest of Black Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
He was in the same building and didn't meet them.
Didn't even get to meet them.
I could have
sworn that was the first time they were even all in the same room.
But it's like I could have sworn at one point I was like talking to Justin and felt like Math or Fam at the same time. Like that's how.
When did I get to meet? I officially got to meet everybody. Like officially was Jobber. It was Jobber Tears. Was Jobber Slam the second round time?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I really got to meet everybody.
Oh, right.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
When I think about it.
Love it. Yep, we were all live and
is obvious. Fam, I've ran into at some of the DC shows, but the other two, no. Cal and Math are almost like the Loch Ness Monsters. It's like, wait,
it's gonna be worth it. Trust me. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's worth
it. I'm
it's all good time.
We
might be thrown off by KRISTA and Math having a sibling rivalry like they're stepbrothers, but don't be alarmed. It's normal. It's normal at this point.
We're all.
It would be weird if they didn't greet each other like that.
What I'm excited for is for y'all to see the turnout of the wrestling fans. That's going when they see TWG, when they see Jobber Tears on the panel, when they see Black Wrestling on the panel, when they get to see that, and then like all of us on the OG Dream panel can sit back and just like watch y'all cook, and it's gonna be so much fun. But also seeing this group of like blurs in one place where everybody could just be themselves. That's the part right there, and all the cosplays, because it's not just Marvel superheroes. I see somebody dress up like people from Coming to America, Mortal Kombat characters, like any TV show you think of, like anything from the culture, Oh, and the food trucks. The food trucks outside are amazing. I'll leave with that.
Okay. I'm ready for it. Make sure you check us out in DC. If you'll be there, Vaughn will be there. We will be at MSG. Follow us on Patreon. A lot of content going on there. New episodes every Monday. That Andre Hale conversation drops on Monday too. So it's gonna be super cute. I'm really excited for everything that's happening. The summer is finally here. I'm praying to God I can go to SummerSlam. It's still up in the air at the moment, but we will be there too. But yeah,
Jonathan Karma says thank you.
Yeah,
the article reference. He told me send the link.
I love it.
Kermit and them boys at the Ring are doing some great work.
And I hope y'all can go too, because I can't do this by myself. I need my family there, because like It's the first SummerSlam in a long time, so fingers crossed, it's gonna happen.
We all gonna be there. Where can everybody find the crew?
You can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for TWG Fan Club with myself and these three beautiful, intelligent, illustrious co-hosts of mine. You can catch me from time to time Tuesday nights, Twitter Spaces, around 6:35 p.m. for Turnbuckle Talk with me and Corey, where we talk all things wrestling. They should be coming back from hiatus soon, so stay tuned. You can also catch me from time to time on True Hill Heat Sports and True Hill Heat Wrestling. Both of those channels are located on YouTube, where we talk sports, wrestling, and all that fun stuff. Your boy just dropped a Money in the Bank review on my YouTube channel. This is the longest review I've done. A little bit in depth. We changed some things up. We fine-tuned some things. So stay tuned with the YouTube channel because we're going to be doing some stuff. We here. We outside. We active. Salute to hip-hop. Salute to wrestling. This is great.
Dang, Justin took up all the real estate. You can follow me at Brian H. Waters on Twitter, Instagram, apparently Threads now. That's a thing. I just learned about it while on the stream. TikTok, Spill. Yeah, follow me there. And check out this week's episode, Wednesday Worldwide. We discussed is LA Knight a Stone Cold a Rock ripoff, as Kevin Nash described. And we also discussed the Usos and why they're the greatest tag team ever. And tonight on the Wrestling Around Now podcast at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will discuss the road to SummerSlam, including the Tribal Chief getting pinned.
Yeah.
We outside, we sweating.
We outside, we sweating.
It's fucking hot in New York, bro.
And per usual, is your honorary wrestling girl, Seindole B. You can catch me on everything at this point. Like Spill, I'm on there too now. Same thing, Reload, Relive. Shout out to the girl who gave me the code. You can also catch me on Instagram at reload.relive. You can catch me on Twitter talking all my shit at Relive via Film. You can also catch me on YouTube showing up videos. This weekend, your girl was outside. It was 4th of July weekend. Even though I don't celebrate anything past Juneteenth, we had to go outside. So yes, there will be a video coming out very soon on that channel. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel where I'll also be dropping shorts, where I'll be also doing a haul on wrestling, making wrestling t-shirts fashionable again.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, buddy.
You can catch me with the fam. You can catch me with the fam also at BlurpCon this week. I'm so excited. And yeah, it's hot as balls. Buy an air conditioner and just stay cool. Don't be like uncool, okay? That's all I ask of you. I can't wait to see all your beautiful faces again next week with the family and with the 3 best friends that anyone can have every Wednesday. Same time, 7 o'clock. Don't be late to the club or else you will skip the line. If you don't see Ricardisha in the front, it's not a real party. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Bye.
Yay.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Good night.
Oh, I thought P had to do her part.
I was about to say, yeah, P.
Oh shit!
Find me, like, if you're
really do like a part.
Way to push her out the car.
Like the beginning. We need you to have your own signature sign off.
You know.
No, Patricia needs a signature sign off. Just shoot it. Go.
There you go. Talk your shit.
All right. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, y'all know where to fucking follow me. Like,
you can start with that.
I don't understand why I
put
need
up
to
all
sign
your
off.
handles. Put up all the dope ass shit that
they're
TWG's
the same
doing.
everywhere.
P got coming hot. P got coming. This is your host with the most, the great high exalter, never falter. The name is Queen PR, Bronx Prodigy. You know what I'm saying? one half of those wrestling girls. You know where I be. Fan club, Patreon, sound offs. Patricia, Krista B,
everything.
We do this.
Everything. But we'll see y'all next.
See y'all next week.
Peace.